Dodgers to fall off, they have. Like, what else could you ask for right now if you're a Padres fan? I mean, everything that you've asked for has come to fruition.
Everyone wants to fast forward to the division round, back to the same moment that they were last year, up 2-1 over the Dodgers, but there's still 2 months to play.
Yeah, right.
A lot of really fun times could be ahead of this team, potentially.
Now, live from the studios of San Diego Sports 760, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 1 of John and Jim. We'll be with you for the next 4 hours, not 2 or 3, but we will be here for 4 hours.
What about 5?
No, we're not going to be here for 5 hours. We will for 4. Will Fleming, radio voice of the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox are in town. Will join us coming up at 2:30. He's been on the show before. And then our Padres insider, Kevin Acee, will join us at 5:30 as the Padres and Red Sox. I mean, 2 red-hot teams, no pun intended, as the Red Sox, have red in their name. But these are 2 scorching hot teams, both with significant aspirations, obviously, in the postseason. Both, what's interesting? I just thought about this off the top of my head. I had no idea I was going here. One team was widely praised for their trade deadline, San Diego, especially nationally. It's been more critiqued here locally, maybe.
Masterclass by AJ Preller.
Yeah, that's what you'd hear nationally. Oh, who's the team that made the biggest jump at the deadline? Padres, right? Another team was seen as a kind of a loser at the deadline. That's the Boston Red Sox. They really didn't do a lot. They were playing well and are playing well, and that's continuing right now, but different philosophies to maybe get to the same end result, which is to get to a World Series or win one. But San Diego overhauls everything. Boston's just playing great. They're 8-2 in their last 10. I think they're 23-8 in their last 31. We'll talk to Will Fleming coming up. But you talk about big series. This is one of a series of big series coming up for the Padres over the next month.
Yeah, Craig Breslow, who is the Red Sox general manager, destroyed at the deadline.
That's right.
Like, you did nothing. All you did was trade away Rafi Devers. You did trade for Dustin May.
Yeah, a couple of relievers they brought in.
Relievers, but nothing of significance.
Yep.
And they're right in the thick of it. They have one of the better records in the American League, even though they're only the 4 seed in the wild card, because the Toronto Blue Jays have the best record in the American League.
Yeah.
They're one of the better teams in all of baseball. And ever since that Rafi Devers trade a couple months ago, they have been red hot. They just, that's why it never made sense to me for them to trade Jarren Duran, especially to the Padres. It's just like, if you're trying to win, try to go for it. You want to keep your better players, especially guys that are in control for long term. But anyway, I digress. That feels like it's so far in the past now, even though it only happened like a week ago. The Jarren Duran talk, like Jarren Duran who? Well, we're going to see him tonight here at Petco Park.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned, listen, it's been a while since the Devers deal too, but they have just taken off from that moment. That was when they had, I forget what it was, they rattled off 9 of 10. I mean, they've had long winning streaks. I think he was traded technically on the 15th of June. I think they were 500. I mean, this was a team that we've talked about it. At one point this year, they were 41-44. I'm talking about Boston, and now they're 64-52. There's a little bit of 2024 Padres in the 2025 Boston Red Sox in that they've taken off in the second half of the year. And then when you look at the other side with the Padres, you just have a team that is maybe playing its best baseball since the first 2 weeks of the year, and they are capitalizing on the moves that AJ Preller made. And that played out again, we talked about it yesterday, that played out in that Arizona Diamondback series when they were winning games with guys like Mason Miller and Ramon Laureano and Ryan O'Hearn. We want to see more of that, obviously, this weekend. I think this is a stiffer test, obviously, than Arizona, but you're throwing the big 3 out there, including King. Now, I don't know what the expectations are for Michael King in start 1 of his return, but you got good starting pitching all weekend long, and this is a great home team, and the San Diego Padres back home at Petco Park tonight.
So just back to the Red Sox and the Devers deal. That happened on June 15th.
Yep.
And at that moment, they were 37-36. They just got off sweeping the New York Yankees. Devers actually hit a home run in that 2-0 win. And you do the math, John. So they were 37-36 at that time.
They're 27-16. They're 27-16 since they traded him. They've actually been better more recently, but that's That's one of the better records in the sport. And of course, the Giants have had one of the worst records
Yeah.
in the sport since that day. It's funny how sports work. I said it yesterday. It's not a one-player sport. It never has been.
No.
It's not necessarily a reflection of Rafi Devers. It is a reflection of Alex Cora and the Red Sox. Whatever they're doing is working. Whatever Mike Schild and AJ Preller is doing is working. And now you have these two hot teams colliding in San Diego for a weekend series. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere the next 3 nights, warm nights, summer, and just, playoff baseball essentially in August in San Diego.
The Padres are definitely putting their best foot forward. You got Pivetta, King, and Cease in this series.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be a potential playoff matchup because the only time they could meet would be in the World Series. But
That's a playoff matchup.
It's a playoff matchup, but it's a World Series matchup,
Right.
is my point.
Right.
And a lot of things would have to go right for both of these
Ton.
teams to meet in the World Series.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, they're two of the better teams in baseball. I would think the Padres are a more complete team than the Red Sox. But,
Right.
I mean, the Red Sox are putting, good stretches of baseball together. So don't sleep on Boston in this series. It's not going to be an easy one. It's going to be fun, but it's also going to be tough.
The story of tonight for me, remember it was yesterday, I think we played what MLB Network said about Shohei Ohtani's 4 brilliant innings and their loss to the Cardinals.
No, they actually won that game, John.
They won it even though they lost. The story to me remains one of the undertold stories of the entire year in Major League Baseball. And it's a player by the name of Nick Pivetta, who was acquired, of course, by the Padres this offseason and has not only turned out to be one of the best starters in the sport, and he will get Cy Young votes. What he has done specifically at home,
Give me
where
the
he is
numbers.
7-0
Ooh.
with a 1.99 ERA
Is that good?
in 12 starts, and you get into the numbers, they're even better. 44 hits allowed in 72 and a third innings. A whip, walks and hits divided by innings of .788. I mean, it's not cliche to say he's been unhittable. 80 strikeouts to 13 walks, a 7-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. And that's who you're relying on to start this series and get this thing off in the right direction. And like we said yesterday, you can now, objects in the rearview mirror are closer than they appear. 2 games is nothing in this division. Doesn't mean it's made up in 2 days. Doesn't mean you can't fall to 3 back or get to within 1. But 2 games is literally nothing, can be overcome in the blink of an eye in one series. The Dodgers, do they have the Blue Jays this weekend?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Think about that. Not that the Padres have something easy. They don't. Red Sox is not easy. You could lose the series.
Mm-hmm.
But the Dodgers could lose this series, and the Dodgers haven't played well. So you got an opportunity this weekend, man. It doesn't get better than this. 2 back in the division, chances to gain ground, turning to Nick Pivetta, one of the best stories that nobody's talking about in Major League Baseball.
Didn't you kind of feel after his very first start in a Padres uniform, which was here on, I think, a Sunday night baseball game versus the Braves?
Okay, it's the 4th game of that year.
I think it was it was the 4th game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
He goes 7 shutout, allowing 1 hit, no runs, 4 strikeouts, no walks. Remember that game?
I do.
And one thing specifically that I do remember from it is when he was talking, I believe Buster Olney, in the dugout, he mentioned how he just did a subtle change to his delivery, which was standing closer on the first base side of the rubber. And I just, you could tell, oh, this is different. This guy, it could have gone sideways, right? It's just one start, but he looked so good in that first start, and he has not looked back since. He has looked like that pitcher for 95% of the season.
Yeah,
which is incredible. And hopefully he continues it tonight because they're going to need him down the stretch. He's going to be a huge part of this team going into a postseason run. And it just goes back to me, one of the best offseason signings in baseball is the guy on the mound tonight for the Padres, and that's Nick Pivetta.
And of course, the additional storyline, just to make it that much better, is Nick Pivetta, of course, was pitching with the Boston Red Sox a year ago today. And again, he had faced his former team earlier this year. I want to say when he faced the Phillies earlier this year, he used it. He said at postgame, it's always good to pitch well against the team that you used to play for. I think he was drafted by the Phillies, but he spent a long time in Boston. He spent a long time there. And last year, it just didn't work out. 6-12 overall. Okay, whatever. He's a starter. That's not the end all be all. But a 4.14 ERA. The year before, every year his ERA was over 4 in Boston. Every year. And he comes here, and this is where you kind of go down the path with Ruben Niebla and his impact, obviously on a pitcher or a staff. and he's reinvented himself. For whatever reason, he's been a completely different pitcher. Hopefully, he finishes the year with a sub-3 ERA. But I'm telling you, I remember he said something about facing the Phillies was that extra motivation. I'm sure he'll be feeling the same way tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe there's extra motivation for the Red Sox as well against their former teammate. But that's another reason for me to circle tonight is Pivetta against the team he played for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and the competitiveness that this guy
he's
has.
like a bulldog, right?
Oh my gosh, he reminds me a lot of Joe on the mound. Like, he is not afraid of anybody. Doesn't back down. He just goes after guys, and the attitude that he shows on the mound reminds me a lot of Joe Musgrove.
I think it's a great point.
So knowing that they were not going to have Joe this year, they replaced Joe with another Joe, and he's been better. Like, Joe's had some good seasons here, but this season from Nick Pivetta, specifically at home, man, you couldn't have asked for anything more from Nick Pivetta so far. It's just an amazing, amazing signing on like the final day of the offseason by AJ Preller. Goes into the category of just great moves that AJ has made over the last couple seasons that have all worked out. I mean, how many moves haven't worked out? I could count this year where there were moves that didn't work out, obviously, but he quickly replaced those bad moves with moves that I think are going to work out well. And
he's made some good moves.
And Nick Pivetta replacing the injured Joe Musgrove in your rotation hasn't missed a step.
I mean, you're right. I mean, I thought that was pivotal in the offseason. And then again, I think there's reason for praise, even though it's only been a week since the trade deadline. I mean, Nick Pivetta, as we sit here today, Jim, is 6th in the National League in ERA. Now, so are you winning the Cy Young? No. I mean, that's a long shot for Nick Pivetta. I mean, Paul Skeens still is in the National League. He's got a sub-2 ERA, and I know he plays for a bad team, but that's not going to matter. But the point is, and you've made this point for a while, and you're spot on, he's getting votes, and he's got a chance at top 5 finish in the National League Cy Young, and he'll be back. Here's the beauty of the Pivetta signing from Preller's perspective.
Yep.
It wasn't a 1-year prove-it deal to go get yourself the money. It's a 2-year prove-it deal, which is so much better considering everything we know. Otherwise, what would we be saying right now? Saying, oh my gosh, Cease, King, Pivetta, they're all going to walk out the door. The fact that you can build around Pivetta, we'll talk about it in the offseason, but you're building around Pivetta for 2026 makes the signing even that much more impactful because you're not getting a show me deal. You're getting him for a second year.
And his AAV will, not AAV, but his salary
goes up.
Will go up by like $18 million. Because right now his base is 2.5 and next year it goes up to 20 plus.
Yeah. But like you said, AAV actually, when it comes to taxing the Padres, nothing changes.
No, nothing changes.
Nothing changes with the CBT numbers,
Right.
but you're right. They'll pay him more, but then again, they got money coming off the books.
And is he not worth it? Is the guy not worth $20 million?
Dude, serviceable starters are getting $20 million, and he's been beyond serviceable, obviously, for the Padres. So there's just so much to get into. We're looking forward to doing it over the next 4 hours. We've got a giveaway for you. Will Fleming, voice of the Red Sox at 2:30. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider at 5:30. If you missed Darnay Tripp from NBC7 from yesterday, you'll hear from Darnay as well. We're getting you ready for tonight. And what about the expectations for tomorrow when Michael King returns? We discuss coming up next. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Will Fleming, radio announcer for the Red Sox, who are in town, will join us coming up at 2:30 in about 10 minutes or so. By the way, we all remember that one teacher, Jim, who made a difference, who believed in us, challenged us, or just made learning fun. Now's your chance to say thank you to Big Way with iHeartRadio's Thank You Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate outstanding public school teachers gone above and beyond for their students to win $5,000 to stock their classroom with whatever they need. Today's teacher of the day, Jacqueline Serrano, who teaches at Lexington Elementary in El Cajon. People told us she's been honored with a biliteracy leadership recognition from the San Diego County Office of Education and have helped my students achieve significant growth in reading. Congrats, Jacqueline. You're in the running to win $5,000 for your classroom. Nominate your favorite teacher at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. Are you bilingual, Jim, by chance? Do you know what that would mean?
I can speak multiple languages.
You've turned into like a
languages.
You've turned into like a Harvard grad over the last week.
No.
Yes. Yeah. I can't fool you anymore.
Can't even say languages right. Speak multiple languages. There we go.
Michael King tomorrow. Okay. Will Fleming will join us in 10 minutes. Michael King tomorrow.
Correct.
Is he going to look like Michael King?
Well, he's going to look like Michael
Yeah,
King.
he didn't change his haircut.
No.
Probably.
And even if he did change his haircut,
he still is going to look like him.
He would still have his name on the back of his jersey, wearing number 34.
So you don't think he's had like plastic surgery on his face?
No, it's not like he's going to go on like we're going to see the guy on the mound and it's like Wandy Peralta.
You dyed your hair
with a Michael King jersey on.
So he'll look like Michael King, but
Correct.
will his pitches look like Michael King's pitches?
I hope so.
Will he show rust?
I would say yes. I would say that there's going to be inevitably some rust. I think if he can get through 5 tomorrow, that's a victory in itself. I'm
like
not
MLB Network. Is that even if they lose, that's
right,
a win.
Right. I'm not saying that, if you get through 5 and give up 9 runs, it's a victory.
Right.
But if you get through 5 and give up 3, like I think you'd take that.
Yeah. Then you trust the offense. Yeah.
Yeah. At this point in the season, after the trades, you trust the offense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm just excited to get him back on the mound and see him out there and finally see, what this team could look like with a healthy full squad. Because Michael King is the missing piece. Not the missing piece, but you get my point. He's the last piece of the puzzle that needs to return to complete the roster. Because right now, it's hard to envision them winning a World Series without Michael King because you feel like he needs to be an important part of their run to the postseason. We've said that ever since his injury. Like, are they winning a World Series without Michael King? Can you honestly say that? I think the honest answer is probably not.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think that, to AJ Preller's own point, which is like, you have to address weak links. Well, what if you take one of your strongest links away? And that's who Michael King is. That's what he represents. He's not just good. He's been elite. He's been one of the better pitchers in the National League. And I thought he showed it on a very big stage last year in the postseason. So I have confidence in Michael King. I always go back to what he did against Atlanta at Petco Park last October. 12 strikeouts and 7 scoreless innings. That's not easy to accomplish. That's rarefied air for any pitcher in the postseason.
It's like one of the best performances in Padres history.
No doubt.
In the postseason.
No doubt. They don't have a zillion games. Now, I remember against the Dodgers, it wasn't near as good in the one start he made.
No, but he did give up the grand slam to Teoscar Hernandez.
That's what I recall.
But then he kept it there. And then the bullpen took over and got the job done. And they won 6-5, I think.
In that game, yeah. I think it went 5 innings and allowed 5 runs. But again, here is a guy that you're counting on in the postseason. And I think you just want to see him build up and shake the rust off. Like, he doesn't need to necessarily lead you to the postseason. We think they're going to the postseason.
Right.
I haven't been saying when they get King back, they're going to the postseason. No, I've been saying get King back because their chances of winning World Series go up with him because of what he's capable of doing in the postseason.
I just really want to see this team with a healthy rotation.
Right.
Because you haven't had that all year long. Michael King. That's what you're getting this weekend. You're getting the best foot forward from the Padres. Now it happened to line up this way, and I'm assuming they lined it this way. So then it lines up this way next weekend against the Dodgers, which is smart. And then it probably lines up the following weekend against the Dodgers as well.
Does it? I'm just doing the math on this, Jim, because doesn't this mean that Pivetta misses the Dodgers by throwing tonight? Because that means he pitches the final game of the Giants series.
You know what? You're probably right on
Yeah,
that.
because that's 6 games.
But that would mean then King would start game 1, Cease
Cease was-
game 2, Darvish game 3 against the Dodgers.
Correct.
And then the following weekend,
Or was it Cortez the last time the Padres played?
it was Cortez.
So then it would be Cortez.
Oh.
So they're actually not, unless they switch things up, they're actually not lining it up specifically
I mean, you
for that
could,
series. But I
'cause you
don't
have
know
an
if
off
you
day.
would because you have 2 series against the Dodgers. So you probably aren't lining up your rotation in back-to-back weekends. And
Good
I'd have to
point.
do the math on it. Right?
So it's, because you play, so Dodgers next Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Yep.
and then the following Friday,
Like
Saturday, Sunday.
Sunday.
So back-to-back weekends against the Dodgers. One in LA, one here. at
Crazy.
Park. Oh my God.
This is like the appetizer. This is an amazing appetizer.
Oh,
this is
for
like,
sure.
I want to do the Colin analogy.
Do it.
We're painting a home, and this is painted with a great color, but the color's even better the next 2 weekends. It's a dumb analogy. But like, this is an amazing
What's the
start.
stuff? What's the stuff you put on a wall before? A primer. This is the primer.
I've never painted anything in my life.
I think it's the primer.
You
prime a wall before you.
I don't know how to do it. Have you ever done that?
No.
Exactly.
I know. I had to think about that real quick. I was like,
Are you handy?
I can be. Like, give me a job that you consider
What do you-
handy.
Changing a light bulb.
Yes, I can change a light bulb.
Can you change a flat tire?
How many people can honestly change a flat tire though?
A ton of people. 70470. Start it with team if you can do it.
Can
I don't
you?
think it's no. Are you serious? Can I do dishes?
No, you
I
can't
tell
do anything.
Kristen no.
I can't change a flat tire. I've never done that before.
Can you fix an engine?
No.
Can you fix a leaky faucet?
Yes.
All right. You're handy.
I replaced my battery a couple months ago.
No, you called AAA, I thought.
I did, but then I had to replace it because they didn't do it right.
They didn't do it right and you did?
Yeah. The whole thing was, it didn't work. Like the battery didn't work, but it was a brand new battery. So I had to take it out. I had to
Put a
buy
new
new
one in?
parts and I had to put that back in
Then
and
you're
put
handy.
new parts on it.
You're handy.
Now,
You know
it
who's
took-
not
now,
handy?
It took me a long time, but
I'm pretty sure I hate to label him like this way. I don't think Will Fleming is handy. I've known Will a long time. He doesn't come across to me as a guy that's handy, but he is the broadcaster for the Boston Red Sox, and he will join us on the other side, getting us ready for Red Sox Padres game 1 tonight. Voice of the Red Sox, Will Fleming, joins us next. San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Padres start a 3-game series with the Boston Red Sox starting tonight at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres against Walker Buehler for the Red Sox. And tomorrow night, SDFC takes on Kansas City on the road. 5:45 kickoff time. 5:15 is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. Need HVAC? This month, get 0% for 18 months on a new system. Schedule your free proposal at AndersonPHA.com. Anderson, fast, reliable, wow.
All right, Will Fleming, radio announcer with the Red Sox, is scheduled to join us. So I'll text him and say, pick up your phone. And I use a phone emoji. Just want to let everyone know. So Will Fleming will join us. He's an interesting story. Not that I don't know if anyone cares.
Interesting story.
Will Fleming
He's an interesting story?
Yeah, because out of college, he got into finance. He went to Stanford, got into finance, and then in his career, he's like, I don't want to do this. And his brother was already calling games for the Giants,
right?
Dave. And then Will, after a handful of years out of Stanford and working, was like, I'd rather do this. And he worked his way through the minor leagues and then got elevated to a radio announcer for the Boston Red Sox.
And you're still with me.
And I'm still with you. That has always been kind of a constant. He says it isn't ringing, Brent. I blame iHeart. I think we're going to connect with him right now.
Yeah, I think we got him.
All right, so Will Fleming in town. As the Padres get ready for the Red Sox, I always blame iHeart if something goes wrong, Will, live on the show.
It's our fault.
It's our fault. So if the phone wasn't ringing, it's probably hard to pick up. Before we start, because again, this is a huge series. We just had a conversation about handiness. Like I'm not handy as a person, right? Like I don't even know if I could fix a light bulb. And I described you as someone that I didn't take as someone that was handy because we spent a lot of time together. I don't see you as a handy guy. Do I have that pegged correctly or not?
If there's anything around my house that needs doing, I pay somebody to do it. So you nailed that. Handy, I am not. I can basically only do one thing, and I don't do all that well, which is just talk about baseball. So fun weekend, ready to get it going here with the pod.
You sound exactly like John.
That's exactly the same as me. We're twins. Okay, so tell us what's going on here. I mean, obviously the Red Sox are red hot. We see how the Padres have played too, but there was so much discussion here about Jarren Duran around the deadline. Duran has really played well, it appears, for the last 6 or 7 weeks. What role has he played in the success here over the last handful of weeks for the Red Sox?
Yeah, I don't think you can overstate it. He's been enormous. And I do think, guys, that it was a really difficult decision facing the Red Sox as they struggled, say, a month ago. And they have too many left-handed hitting outfielders. They just inked Roman Anthony this massive extension. He's their next superstar player. But Wilyer Abreu, they have Jarren, and they got this kid, Showdown Rafaela, who's just an absolute freak in center field defensively. So they do have too many of those. And they were, I think, rightly considering adding to areas that they needed help in, like starting pitching and other things. But then they got hot, and he became sort of indispensable to what they're doing. And it's going to be a tough call in the offseason again, because I think that they'll get more calls on him, and I think they'll revisit it then. But, Alex Bregman has come over to this Red Sox club and been an enormous leader. Trevor Story has gotten hot and healthy again, and he leads this club too, and Crochet on the pitching side. But in some ways, Duran is the heartbeat of this team. And he's kind of like, like Merrill was last year, but, the Tatis of your group, where it's speed too, which is such a different thing, where there's something about a guy, but when he hits the ground ball into the outfield, he's ripping around first and slides in head first to lead off a game into second base. That just jumpstarts a team. His teammates love him. He gets the loudest ovations of anybody at Fenway. I mean, he's just adored in our fan base. So it's a very difficult decision that faces them. I'm glad they kept him. He's been enormous. And by the way, Alex Cora also slotted him down in the order. He decided, you know what, we need him to be able to be more free on the bases. And if he's hitting ahead of Bregman and some of these other guys, he didn't run as much. So they put him in the 3-hole. And for a weekend series, he hit a couple homers and drove in like 9 runs. So He's not your typical 3-hole hitter, but he's been great down there. He's been fantastic to watch.
Rarely can you say a team loses maybe their best player and they get better. When they traded away Rafi Devers, they were 37-36, and then they went on their run. What was it about that trade in particular that ended up helping the Red Sox instead of hurting them, which some people thought that it might?
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that it would help them, right? But it was just a culture thing. They needed to make the move, and it's been relitigated a lot of times. But since that trade, the Red Sox have, I think, about the best record in baseball, and the Giants have one of the worst. And the Red Sox maybe mismanaged the communication around Rafi in the offseason, but everybody in the world knew that they were looking at Bregman, and if not him, Arenado, and that Rafi, by the numbers, was the worst defensive third baseman in the game. And so whether it was his agent or the front office or whomever didn't properly communicate it to him, it was plain as day that he needed to not be the Red Sox third baseman once they got Bregman in the mix. And then Bregman gets hurt, and Tristan Casas gets hurt too. And they need both the first and third baseman, and Rafi will not play either. And the owner flies into Kansas City out of nowhere after Rafi publicly crushes the general manager in the media. This is a guy who would not talk to the media except to rip the team. And so it had to happen culturally. And it's not that short of a distance between making that move, setting the tone, and then opening up the room for other guys like Duran and Showdown and others to lead and to, set a better example culturally. So, and by the way, the defense got better. And then just the tactical side of things, the Red Sox have this roster that at that time with Devers, if he was only to be the designated hitter, it limited the time that other people could get in there. By the way, it prevented them from having Roman Anthony on the roster because of what we've already talked about. They have so many outfielders. They'd like to use the extra outfielder as the designated hitter. But if Rafi was only going to be in that spot, they couldn't have Anthony on the roster, and they'd have to sit one of, say, Don or Willie or Abreu or Duran. That's just not good for the team. And moreover, they got these two guys in Rob Refsnyder and Romy Gonzalez who absolutely annihilate left-handed pitching. And when Rafi was in there, he was going to be the DH no matter what. Those guys have gotten more run. The rest of the players are in there more often, and it's worked out like dynamite for the Red Sox.
That is really good insight. Will Fleming in town as the Red Sox take on the Padres tonight. Game one of a 3-game series. Obviously, a huge weekend series for both of these teams. The Padres, of course, very familiar with Walker Buehler, who starts tonight opposite Nick Pivetta. Guys like Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. have a ton of career at bats against Buehler. Has he begun to turn a corner? You look at the overall numbers; they aren't good, but it looks like maybe over the last month or so he's pitched better.
Yeah, I mean, he had a really good start in Philadelphia, but it's been hit and miss for him.
Yeah.
I would not say he's yet turned a corner. He went down to Atlanta at the All-Star break to try to find something. I've talked to him about it. He's been pretty open about it. He is a ultimate tinkerer. The thing with Walker is that after the arm surgery, and really for a couple of years now, he just doesn't have that lightning bolt for an arm. And, any Padre fan who watched him for all those years with the Dodgers knew that was his real kryptonite, right? The be able to ride the rails, that fastball top of the zone was just awesome. And he doesn't have that now. The fastball is 91, 92, and he's trying to figure out a way to do that and live with that pitch. And it just hasn't worked. And the other thing about Buehler is that, and I'm sure the Padre hitters remember this well, when he was with the Dodgers, he had 6, 7, 8 pitches that all worked well. So you got into the batter's box and you had no idea what was coming. But now the Red Sox believe that since he doesn't throw as hard, he sometimes gets in his own head and tries to throw too many pitches too often. And they want him to try to kind of hone in on 2 or 3 and, work on those and get it going. But he gets in way too many deep counts and then falls behind and gives up damage. It's on paper tonight is a bad matchup for the Red Sox. We from afar have all known what Nick Pavetta's been doing. I sort of have a hunch that it might not go great for Nick tonight. Just kind of, intuition of watching him all these times, like in big spots against Toronto and New York in his career. He had some awesome starts for the Red Sox, but there were some where the emotions got the better part of him. You guys have seen Pivetta, right? I mean, he's an absolute maniac on the mound. But I think that could maybe work against him tonight, just looking into that other dugout and into the batter's box and seeing so many former teammates. But on paper, anyway, it's not a good matchup for the Red Sox here in San Diego. as hot as the Sox have been, and they have. I mean, and they've been so much fun to watch. You come in here against a hot Padre team, and then you go to Houston, a team you swept at your place, who's looking for some revenge. These 6 games, I mean, for me, guys, if the Red Sox were able to kind of just go 500 on this road trip, that would be a huge victory in just the way it works in baseball on the road. And that's not what they're thinking, given how hot they've been, but that's sure how I'm thinking. And that certainly starts with the pitching advantage the Padres have tonight.
Yeah, and back to Nick Pivetta. I mean, he's had a fantastic year. One could argue he's one of the best pickups in the offseason. He's going to get Cy Young votes this year if he continues to pitch this way. Been in Boston for most of his career. When you were, calling his games and watching him every 5th day, like, did you see this in Nick Pivetta? Like, what did you see in Nick Pivetta that could lead you down the path of like, oh yeah, he could be this guy, which he is this year for the Padres?
Nothing. I mean, no, that's not. So I would say that the thing about Nick was there were always nights when he looked like the best pitcher in the game. He'd have like 4 or 5 of those a year. And then almost inevitably he would have a blow up game. And he really hasn't had that with the Padres. And that's what's been surprising to me. Now the Red Sox, if you look at it, I mean, they had Eovaldi, they had this guy, they had Chris Sale, they had Michael Wacha, and they moved on from those people. And they're now desperate for starting pitching depth. So, I mean, there are some questions to be asked about what's going on in terms of evaluating older pitchers and being unwilling to commit to them. But I did not, at the time, fault the Red Sox at all for not extending Nick Pivetta. I mean, they gave him a qualifying offer. It went right down to the end in the spring training until he got the offer that he did from the Padres. And obviously, it's a credit to San Diego because, my God, he's unlocked something. Whatever it is, whatever they've changed with him has really clicked something. But there would be nights when, he'd go 1, 2, 3 in the first inning and go sit in the dugout and like slam the top of the cooler with his glove because he was pissed off about something. Yeah. And obviously from afar, I don't watch all of his starts. Maybe he's curtailed a little bit of that stuff. Certainly the pitch mix seems a little bit different and better. I'm happy for him, but this is one where I cannot fault the Red Sox at all for not making a long-term investment in him.
Will, one more before you go, just on Xander, who has been mired in a bit of a Padres long slump, right? He's been widely criticized here throughout his first 2+ years, but he has turned his season around. We'll see about his contract around. He's turned his season around over the last couple of months. What's it been like from your seat to watch some of his struggles from afar and now see him actually put it together? I don't know if he's playing like he did in Boston, but he's playing like a player closer to Boston than he was earlier in his Padres career.
Yeah, he is. And he'll never be the guy he was in Boston. He's older now, right?
Yeah.
He's a different player. And that's just part of it. And I think, it's a good thing he's not in a place like Philadelphia or New York or even Boston as a free agent coming over with that contract, because he's not ever going to live up to the deal. He isn't. Like, it was a stupid number to give him. It just was. Like, there's no way to justify the actual contract. Now, the Red Sox at that time should have made him a better offer, and he probably should have finished his career in Boston. He's beloved. And as you guys know, like, he's one of my all-time favorite guys. And so it's been hard to watch him struggle as he has in San Diego. I think the Padres fan base, I hope anyway, now this is so hard to do, but you need to just forget the contract, right? And just hope that he gives you production for the next 3-4 years. And he started to do that. These homers that he's hit have been super important. And we remember all those times with the Red Sox. When he gets hot, he can carry an offense for a while. And the thing about here, you know this very well, he doesn't need to be the dude. There are a lot of guys in that order that can protect him. And if he goes cold, Padres can still win. So I think it's a really good setup for him. I hope the fans can kind of move on from the contract. And oh, by the way, this is true of all the guys they have, whether it's Machado, the huge dollars he's making, all of the money they've given to all these pitchers, the trade for Miller, everything. The Padres are in this mode that in some ways the Red Sox were 25 years ago. And that is, none of that will matter. No one will care if they win a World Series. But they do have to. I mean, they've got the kind of roster, the kind of pitching, the offense, although, it's been a little bit erratic at times. They've got the club that can win the World Series. And if they do, you won't care about overpaying for Xander or the dollars that you've committed to Machado and Tatis and all these guys. It's World Series or bust, which is why AJ deals like a maniac, like he always does. It's a really fun team to be a fan for in that way. And I get the sense that it's going to be a very fun 3 days here.
Extremely well said, Will. We love your perspective. We appreciate you taking time. Have some good calls. Enjoy San Diego. We know it's tough. It's going to be tough this weekend. It might be 78.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little hot, so we apologize.
Bring a fan.
I was gonna get some fish tacos, but instead I got to hang some drywall here. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
Perfect.
Jim will be over shortly. Thanks, Will. Appreciate it, man.
My pleasure. See you, buddy.
Great stuff. Will Fleming, radio announcer for the Red Sox. We react to that conversation coming up next. John and Jim. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acey at 5:30. If you missed Darnay Trip, NBC7 from yesterday, you'll hear him coming up at 3:30. Really good conversation with Will Fleming, who's got the perspective of having been on the call when Xander Bogaerts was at his best in Boston. Also, of course, called a lot of games from Nick Pivetta, who spent 5 years in Boston as well. I just like his insight in general. I mean, he was very, I think, transparent on Rafi Devers' time in Boston, the way it ended. I mean, it did not end well. And again, from afar, we do this all the time in sports. Like, how do you take this productivity and replace it? And then the way he told us, like, he's actually limiting other players from playing because he wasn't very flexible. He's DHing. He doesn't have position flexibility. He, wasn't necessarily aligned with the Red Sox vision for the organization. And like, you see it on the other side. Maybe some of it makes more sense now.
I'm also pretty sure that he called us soft without calling us soft.
Me and you? Me and you are soft.
No, well, yes, we're soft, but I meant like the media. And I get it. He said, Xander Bogaerts is lucky he didn't go to Philadelphia or New York.
Because he would just be vilified?
Oh, he would be destroyed there. You think we're tough on Xander Bogaerts?
No, I don't. That's the thing. I think some people
fair.
think we're tough on him.
Right. That's my point is if you think that we're tough on Padres players that struggle or get paid a bunch of money and don't produce, you've never been to Philadelphia or Boston and listened to sports talk radio there.
I think his point, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think his point is right. And I am able to separate the two. Like at some point, you got to get away from the contract because he's a player on a team and the team either wins or the team either loses. Is he helping your team win?
Yes.
It's again, the path I always go down. The two things can be true. It's a bad contract, but that doesn't mean he can't help you win. And the point Will made, how many times have you heard me say, is anyone going to care if they win a World Series and you overpaid for Bogaerts?
No.
On the float, or you'd be like, the 280 is still an over. No one's going to be caring on the float.
You're not worth your contract.
Nobody's going to say it. No one will ever say it ever again. So it happens throughout the course of baseball history and sports history. Guys are in the midst of not great contracts, but they win at a high level. If he can help you get where you need to get, then who cares about the contract? And I do think that 3 years into an 11-year deal, we kind of have to get away from the contract. It was signed. The player that he is no longer. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do about it? We just go watch him play and see if he can help this team.
It's the same thought process about trading prospects. Like if Mason Miller is on a float down Market Street, is anybody going to be saying, we wish you were Leo DeVries?
That's a great point.
No. Like banners fly forever. Trophies greater than prospects.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of work to be done to get that trophy here in San Diego, but that's the thought process around, trading prospects for players to help your team win now. And the Xander thing, yeah, we've talked about it 100 times on this show about the contract. And it is hard when you watch it every day to remove the contract from the player, because a lot of times over the last couple of years, AJ hasn't been able to go out and make free agent signings essentially because of the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Now, AJ's done a fantastic job to maneuver around that contract and be very creative and get players here for, $1 million or make a bunch of trades and have the other team pay for those players and still build around, the core pieces of this team when he doesn't have enough money to go out in free agency.
Right.
And honestly, maybe that's better, because if he did have a bunch of money, maybe he would screw it up. And he would go out and spend money on a bunch of guys like Eric Hosmer's of the world. And then instead of having two players on your team that are, not worth the contract, you would maybe have like 4 or 5.
Well, I mean, it's kind of AJ who got himself into the mess.
Correct.
Because you're right that because of Xander, AJ doesn't have money. Well, because of AJ doesn't have money too. So he hasn't had every move work out perfectly, as we've said a lot of times. I will say that the thing with Xander is, you want to see it. I mean, you can't imagine a world where it just was a complete fall on your face for all 3, 4, 5 of these years, and they actually did part ways and they did owe him all this money. They can't have that. So that's why I recognize / appreciate the last 2 months, because what the 2 months has shown me is they can live with this, right? They can actually perform with this, and this will buy him a fifth and a sixth and a seventh year, hopefully. I mean, we were talking 2 months ago about what do they do in the offseason with Xander Bogaerts. He has 200 million.
Yeah.
That conversation has quieted a ton.
For sure.
He's going to be here. He's likely starting in the middle of their infield next year, and it'll be a conversation for another day. But I get it. It's hard to separate from the contract.
Yeah, and all the credit to Xander Bogaerts for turning his season around, because it was as low as it could get. It was awful. It was bad.
It was bad.
And to where we're having those conversations of, I mean, we're even asking Kevin, like, hey, are they gonna have to eat this contract? Because this is awful. And to Xander's credit, whatever he did, it's working. And just can keep doing what you're doing, Xander, because what you're doing right now is exactly what the Padres need from you. Could you be better with runners in scoring position? Yeah. But you know what? Like, I will even acknowledge, even with him being awful with runners in scoring position, he is doing everything else possible to help this team out and win games. And it's like, I'll go back to, what's the alternative? The alternative is the guy that hit 220 with an OPS of 600. This is much better, even if he's not hitting with runners in scoring position still, than the 220, 600 OPS guy. Like, infinitely better.
Infinitely.
And it's helping the team win.
And like Will said, and all of this, everything we're saying, and I agree with what Will said. It's still like World Series or bust. Like, everything's great right now, and they're playing great baseball. But like, if it ends by losing, it likely might not be good enough for most Padres fans. All right, we'll continue the conversation coming up on the other side. Darnay Tripp, NBC 7 at 3:30. If you missed him yesterday, coming up later on the show today, Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, gets us ready for tonight. Red Sox and Padres game 1. He'll join us at 5:30. Hour 2 of John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app is next.
All right, this update's brought to you by the Jim Buttrell Real Estate Team. This just in, according to the Real Shams, opening night of the 2025-2026 NBA season will be on NBC on October 21st. The season will kick off with a matchup between the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Game following that on opening night will be the Warriors at the Los Angeles Lakers. Padres and Red Sox, they start a 3-game series tonight at Petco Park. Nick Pivetta on the mound versus his old team for the Padres, and Walker Buehler on the mound for the Red Sox. And then tomorrow night, SDFC takes on Kansas City on the road. 5:45 kickoff, 5:15 pregame. Listen to the match right here on your home of SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Buttrell has the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Previously on John and Jim.
You wanted AJ to upgrade the roster, we upgrade the roster. You want them to play better, they're playing better. You wanted the Dodgers to fall off, they have. Like, what else could you ask for right now if you're a Padres fan? I mean, everything that you've asked for has come to fruition.
Everyone wants to fast forward to the division round, back to the same moment that they were last year, up 2-1 over the Dodgers, but there's still 2 months to play.
Yeah, right.
A lot of really fun times could be ahead of this team, potentially.
Now, live from the studios of San Diego Sports 760, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of John and Jim. You'll hear from Darnay Tripp, NBC 7 at 3:30. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, at 5:30. Padres Red Sox coming up at 6:40.
I was just going to say, if Darnay was listening to us, if he ever does, he might be like, wait, what?
Well, no, here's the thing. Once you come on the show, you've handed away all of your rights to like your name, image, and likeness. We can use your interview in any capacity. We could play this interview for forever. I want to play this like 2029. We sat down with Darnay in 2025.
Well, what I meant was if he didn't realize we were playing back his interview yesterday, he might think that he's coming on the show today.
He's not listening.
I know. That's what I said. If he was listening, which he doesn't.
No, he does.
He does listen
occasionally, but I trust that he's not listening right now.
He only listens selectively, very selectively.
That's exactly right. What I wanted to say was the Padres lineup is out, and guess who has returned tonight for the San Diego Padres?
Elias Diaz.
After a one-day hiatus, Fernando Tatis Jr., who did not play Wednesday. Really, one of 2 scheduled off days, I think, for Tatis this year. He is back in right field, leading off for the Padres. They did win without him. And you're right, Elias Diaz is in the lineup as well for the Padres. Also, Ryan O'Hearn, who had that game-tying home run, is in the lineup. And, of course, Ramon Laureano has had a terrific week or so for the Padres. So, Tatis back. Now, you have made a proclamation.
I have.
You have predicted that Tatis tonight will do what?
I think Will Fleming is on my side here. He said that is a bad matchup tonight for Walker Buehler and the Red Sox.
Right. Yeah.
Part of that bad matchup is what Fernando Tatis Jr. has done lifetime off of Walker Buehler, which is 4 homers, 300 average, over a 1,000 OPS. Last time he faced Walker Buehler was in game 3 of the NLDS last year. We all remember what Tatis did. I mean, just one of the most iconic. I mean, just that home run is go watch it back. He gives you chills, even though they lost the series, but they won the game, which is good.
Should I watch it back?
Dude, that home run was so sick.
I don't like watching things when the end result isn't great. Like, like you said.
Well, they won the game.
I know, but they lost the series.
I know.
It's hard for me to go back at like that.
I get it. Yeah. And I'm actually like, every time I watch that home run, and I've watched it a good amount, I get mad, not because the Padres lost that series,
right? And
we weren't able to cover a team potentially going on to a World Series. It's, if you remember, we were downtown, downtown at, where were we last year?
We would have been.
You're drawing a blank too.
Downtown.
What bar was
Naughty
it?
Barrel?
The Naughty Barrel. I'm so sorry, guys. Naughty Barrel. And do you remember what I did?
No. Let me wait. Oh yeah, you bought a ticket to the game, but then like the ticket didn't get ordered to your phone or something.
Yeah, I bought 2 tickets. It was like $250 because we were waiting until like the last second for prices to drop.
Why didn't you just use a credential?
Because they didn't give me one. But I was gonna go there, and so I had Aaron like drive down.
That's right.
And then she had to drive back to like let Bentley out or feed Bentley or something. And then she drove back, got an Uber. And as soon as she got there, it was like 15 minutes to game time, and the tickets wouldn't download on my phone. And I'm over at Petco Park trying to get these tickets to download on the phone with, I think, like Ticketmaster or something.
Was this game 3 or game 4?
No, it was game 3. Because I remember, because I was outside of Petco Park and we were watching the game at a bar, and the entire stadium erupted.
Yeah.
And on the television, we didn't know.
15 seconds later.
Tatis is still at the plate. And we're like, oh, what happened?
I wonder if he strikes out.
And so, like, it was just, I was so mad because I wanted to go to that game so bad, just as a fan.
Like, save $500.
I did. But still,
to be there for that
experience and the moment, because they did end up winning, and it was an awesome game.
This is the first time I've watched it since the offseason. Honestly, the second the offseason started, I didn't want to really think about it. You know that feeling there's just a weird feeling. And it's like only one team wins. We get it. Like, are you really not going to watch your team all offseason because you didn't win a World Series? But it was so disappointing last year.
Dude,
it wasn't that they didn't win a World Series. It was that from this moment where it's game 3 and they win this game and Tatis and the city are in a frenzy and it's almost inevitable, from this exact moment to the disappointment 2 days later is insanity.
They didn't score again.
I know this began the stretch of 24 consecutive innings, the next inning,
in
which they didn't score. Now, to your point, they won this game.
Right.
6-5. They didn't score at home in game 4 behind Dylan Cease. They didn't score behind Yu Darvish in game 5. That, to me, that's why that makes this game tough for me. Like, thinking about this moment in time is a weird thing to think about. But now that we fast forward, I'm all for Walker Buehler not looking good tonight. You look at his numbers this year, they've been awful. To your point, Tatis has been excellent against him. The Padres are familiar with him. This is a game. Padres are a huge favorite tonight at home against a good team. -175. Win this game. You should win this game. Behind Nick Pivetta, this is a game you absolutely should win tonight at home.
Well, it's not going to be easy.
No, it is easy. I have decided it.
Oh, it's easy?
Very easy. No, of course not. I mean, it's baseball, but
bro, have you seen the Red Sox lineup?
No, but I've seen the Vegas odds. I mean, I'm just based it on like the Padres should win this game.
Well, it's because of the Red Sox pitching.
Yes, and it's because of Nick Pivetta.
Nick Pivetta has been great.
Yeah.
The Red Sox lineup is deep.
It is. I looked at it today.
Yeah. Like this kid here, and Will Fleming talked about him, Willer Abreu.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's got 20 home runs on the season, 62 RBIs, is an 800 OPS. He's 26 years old. He's hitting 7th in the lineup.
I thought Bregman, who's missed time, has been terrific. When he's been out there, Alex Bregman's been really good. Dude. 900 OPS, right?
900 OPS. Jaron Duran's OPS is almost at 800. Trevor Story, by the way, we all remember Trevor Story, former not Red Sox, Rocky. Dude's got 18 home runs on the season, 73 RBIs.
They're young outfitters, right?
Rafaela, like a lot of it has to do, I think, with the ballpark they play in. Fenway is a bandbox and the Green Monster. So, but still, it is going to be a tough task tonight for Nick Pivetta.
I agree.
Even though I think the Padres are in a good position tonight, as Will Fleming said, the matchup wise is not a good matchup for Walker Buehler against this Padres lineup now.
That's the thing. Exactly. It's like, do you trust Pivetta at home or do you trust Buehler on the road against this Padres lineup that has improved? It's not just Ramon Laureano. Like the lineup, Xander Bogaerts has improved. Luis Arraez recently had a 16-game hitting streak. So, and by the way, this is the one you circle because tomorrow you don't know what you get with Michael King. This is the proven Nick Pivetta 7-0, 1.99 at home guy, where tomorrow it's the topsy-turviness of a guy that you haven't seen in 3 months, and you don't necessarily want to turn things over to your bullpen for 6 innings, but if you have to, you will. So this is the one I've circled. And then Dylan Cease, we'll see. It seems like he's pitched better in the second half of the year, and he's going to pitch Sunday afternoon in game 3.
Yeah, I'm excited for this game tonight. I'm excited to see what Tatis looks like after a couple days off. Now, yesterday was a scheduled off day.
No, but you're right. Everybody days off.
But, like the true form of an off day on Wednesday, didn't even dress.
He wasn't even in a jersey.
Yeah, so he wasn't never going to go in that game no matter what. And I want to see if a couple days off really helps him. And one thing I want to ask Kevin is we're going to have him on later in the show today. It's going to be a weird question. Like, does Tatis have a stamina issue? And what I mean by that, I know it's a dumb question. Dumb question.
I
It
love
sounds
how we've
weird.
asked him a different question that all results in the same question,
Right.
which is like, why is Tatis not Tatis?
I know it's a stupid question, but the thing we were talking about yesterday is if you look at his career, when he has time off and he comes back, he's really good.
Off injury, yeah.
Off of injury. Now, you would say, well, what about 2023, Jim? He didn't start out that season red hot and he had a whole year and a half off. Well, he was recovering from shoulder surgery. I said it. And also wrist surgery and a PED suspension.
Mm-hmm.
So that year was just a wash. But what happened last year? You know, he started out well, not like hot like he did this year. And then he kind of, because the fractured leg, and then he came back and he was on fire. Started this season on fire. Gets into the grind of the year and you see him and he doesn't look like he is fully energized. Now, a couple days off to see if he can look like an energized Tatis this weekend.
I mean, at some point, you kind of just have to. I mean, how can I continue to have this conversation? Like, if he doesn't hit this weekend, then what? Well, maybe it's like never ending.
I got nothing then.
Yeah, I'm like, we are
I got nothing.
I need the story to change for the betterment of our talking points. I just am asking for one weekend with 5 hits and a home run or 2. Like, that's what I'm asking for, to change the story. I'm tired of the story. Well, he's on base, he walks, but he doesn't hit for power, and what's wrong? I mean, I'll continue to talk about it if that's what plays out, but like, dude, you got to turn this around. Most players over 162, look at Xander Bogaerts. Most players over 162 will have a turnaround. Good players will slump, but good players are going to turn it around eventually. And that's what I'm asking for out of Tatis. Turn it around, man. It's time.
A 2-homer night would be nice because then it would shut a lot of people up for a while.
Didn't I say his last 2-homer night was before his suspension? Is that right? Or has he had one since suspension? Maybe one.
Good question. I can't remember. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think he's had. Did he hit 2 against the Cubs last year in April? In that comeback? I think he may have.
The
8-0 down?
8-run comeback?
I think he may have.
Potentially.
I could be wrong, but just go change the narrative.
We've said the numbers all of the numbers we've laid out to you.
We've laid them out.
And that proves that his power numbers have dramatically dipped post-surgery and PED suspension. But like, same thing with Xander. I don't want to do it, right? As Will said.
Well, no, not same thing with Xander, because I think the narrative has completely changed.
Well,
no.
Hear me out. As Will Fleming told us, you got to just stop thinking about the contract and just start thinking about what he's doing to help your team win. With Tatis right now, it's like stop thinking about what Tatis was and start thinking about what Tatis is just doing to help this team win. It's really hard for me to do that because this guy was on pace potentially, and I know it was a small sample size, but like you saw a generational talent guy that was going to maybe win a couple MVPs in the next 5, 6, 7 years. Now
we're like, hey, he walks. And his defense.
Yeah.
By the way, his last 2-homer game, you may recall that 8-3 loss to the Giants March 29th last year. He homered twice in that 8-3 home loss to the Giants on March 29th.
Okay, start of the season.
And that was forever ago, the last time he hit more than 1 home run in a game. All right, on the other side, again, Darn Trip, NBC 7 at 3:30. Padres and Red Sox coming up tonight at 6:40. We're getting you ready. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 had a good conversation about Darnay Tripp about the Padres. You'll hear that coming up at 3:30. Kevin AC will join us at 5:30, where Jim will ask the stamina question to Kevin. So don't go anywhere. Just stay in your driveway.
You know what?
For the next 2:10. I honestly think you may have asked that, by the way, on Wednesday. I think you asked it without using the word stamina.
Probably. I mean, like you said, we've asked every single possible type of question that you could ask about, can you explain Tatis's struggles?
I think you may have asked it like, does he get worn down over a long year? And I'm not sure. I'll actually maybe pull it up. I think maybe you didn't. I mean,
probably.
You and I talk about these topics, so I forget sometimes if we talk to Kevin about the same topic.
Oh, bro, I forget what we talked about with Will Fleming.
I know that's the thing that makes it hard. Because sometimes we'll have Kevin on 3 times in a week, and then we probably ask him the same thing. But it's hard to remember who you're talking to about these topics. But anyway, Darnay Tripp at 3:30. We're going to switch gears for a moment. NBA's opening night schedule is out.
Yes.
It's a doubleheader. Now remember, Scams had a tweet a week ago, not Shams, but his parody account Scams. And we actually read on air and talked about it. And Scams said Clippers at Lakers, Rockets at Thunder, NBC Peacock opening night, this new TV deal.
October 21st.
October 21st. He got 3/4 of it right. So what is it actually, according to Shams, NBA's opening night?
It is actually the Houston Rockets at the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder that will open the season.
So we got that right.
October 21st on NBC. And then the nightcap following that game will be the Warriors in LA versus the Lakers at Crypto.
Great doubleheader. Kevin Durant's debut with the Houston Rockets, Oklahoma City coming off a title, and then just the veteran stars of the league for the last 2 decades with the Warriors and the Lakers.
Skinny Luka.
Yeah, great doubleheader.
Yeah, a Warriors team that has made 0 moves this offseason.
If they're not going to win it all, then they won't win it all. And then the Christmas Day schedule apparently is out as well, according to Shams.
I feel like when we talked about it and we guessed,
we nailed half.
We almost got it all right.
I said there's no world that we could ever live in where MSG isn't hosting a noon Eastern Christmas Day game with the Knicks.
Well, they will be hosting a noon Christmas Day game at MSG.
How is it possible? Is there a deal in the MSG? Is it have to be Knicks at home?
It's like a Cowboys always on Thanksgiving type of
it
deal.
Really is.
Detroit always on Thanksgiving.
It's crazy.
So Christmas, no times are announced, but the way that he puts it, you can tell which one's going to be like the ABC or the NBC, excuse me. I guess like primetime game.
Okay.
So Cavs, Knicks, that will be the first matchup in the morning. Probably 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Spurs at the Thunder. It's a good matchup.
It's a good matchup, yeah.
Rockets at the Lakers. My guess is that is the primetime ABC game. Like the 5 Pacific.
The 5 p.m., yeah.
Yeah. Mavericks, Warriors. And then Timberwolves, Nuggets. Nuggets are like they're always like the final game of Christmas Day.
They really are. You're right.
It's like,
really
7 p.m. Pacific, throw the Nuggets game on.
Yeah, the one thing I would say is oftentimes with the NBA, remember what they tried to do to get us to watch before Christmas was the NBA Cup, right? Like the big,
That's still a thing I literally forgot about.
Exactly. That was the big thing 2 years ago. I don't think really people got that into it. The October 21st start, I get it. It's a long year. You play 82 games. October 21st, Jim, is literally in the World Series and during like week 10 of the NFL. Like, I mean, it's not the ideal start, is what I was saying. Now, I don't know what you could do about that, but you're honestly, you're in the World Series or maybe the Championship Series at Game 6, and then you're in the NFL calendar. I don't know what day of the week that is. I'm assuming a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Christmas?
No, the start of the season, October 21st.
Oh, 21st?
Yeah. There's no way it goes up against the NFL, for example.
It's on a
right?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. You have to do Tuesday.
Have to.
Because you can't do Monday. You can't do Thursday.
No.
You can't do college football Saturday. So
Friday, no.
They run into so much. Like, don't you feel that way sometimes? And I was getting into, by the time the postseason rolls around, it's good theater, but I just feel like October 21st, it's hard to get people's attention.
Yeah, but they will have the sports day to themselves.
True.
Maybe because there will be postseason.
Could be like
playoff
game
games.
7 of the National League Championship Series.
You're right. And I have to look at the baseball schedule
Yeah.
if that's even
I don't think it's
released
out.
yet. One thing that I think that they did mess up on here on Christmas Day. How do you not have the Mavs play the Lakers on Christmas Day and then the Rockets play the Warriors? Like it's set up perfectly for you.
Yeah, really good point.
Like that's the matchups they messed up. Now, again, I think the matchups are all great, but it just makes more sense. Mavs, Lakers, Rockets, Warriors. Now you do have the Klay Thompson factor with the Mavericks and the Warriors component, but you also had the KD Warriors component as well as they face off against each other. The Rockets and the Warriors last postseason went 7 games. Luka and the Mavs, we all know that.
Right.
AD.
Yeah, listen, here's what I would say.
They have no bad matchups.
Here's what I would say. People, I mean, they used to have the sports calendar to themselves on Christmas Day, and that no longer exists because how the NFL has taken. What day of the week is it this year? Is the NFL playing games on Christmas Day?
Oh yeah, Thursday.
Yes, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, it's
good luck.
It's exactly like the October 21st thing is good luck. Christmas Day truly is good luck. All right, Darn A Trip, NBC7 on the Padres on the other side. Their post-deadline look. Darn A Trip, friend of the show, coming up on the other side. Kevin Acey at 5:30. We're here until 6 p.m. Getting you ready for Padres and Red Sox. This is John and Jim. San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by the Jim Petrell Real Estate Team. As we just said, Shams reporting moments ago, the opening of the NBA season will tip off October 21st on NBC. It will be the Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. The following game will be the Warriors in LA against the Lakers. Padres start a 3-game series against the Boston Red Sox tonight at Petco Park. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres versus former team, and Walker Buehler on the mound for the Red Sox. And tomorrow night, SDFC takes on Kansas City on the road. 5:45 kickoff, 5:15 pregame. Listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. Would you like to know where your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Petrell has the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. The wrap coming up at 4 p.m. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, getting us ready for game one of this Red Sox series. He will join us at 5:30. We have a giveaway for you today in the 4 o'clock hour as well. But if you missed Darnay Tribb, NBC 7 with us here on John and Jim and providing his thoughts on A.J. Preller and his moves at the deadline.
I mean, it's been awesome. I think, that's probably the obvious take just based on what we've seen so far. Good for Mason Miller having the bounce back performance he had last night. He's, the prize, I think, of the deadline. At least that's what we imagined initially. But Ramon Laureano, the impact that he has had, O'Hearn, not as many at-bats as I think we would have liked at this point, but obviously having an impact yesterday. Freddie Fermin looks like a guy that I think many of us would be happy to have behind the plate for a number of years now. And like you said, to do it with financial constraints, to do it without dealing Dylan Cease or Robert Suarez was super impressive. And, he, I think, had the right touch in this case. He went for some star power in Mason Miller, but really just, building out the roster, filling in some of the holes, patching up some of the weak spots. Like you said, championship teams don't have weak links. You look at the team, it doesn't really seem to have any weak links right now. And Derek and I just did an episode of On Fire, and one of the things we talked about is this or will it go down as A.J. Preller's best trade deadline? I think it has to be this or getting Juan Soto and Josh Hader. And I think that one is kind of based on just the big name recognition that comes with those two stars. But I think there's a good chance when all is said and done and we look back on this with a little bit of hindsight, we feel like, all right, this is probably the better one just based on what they did or didn't give up and the way they really met the needs of this particular team and made the roster so much better with some really savvy moves.
So being as close as they are now to the Dodgers, just 2 games back, and they still have 6 games remaining against them. We were just talking about this. What's the level of disappointment you would have if they end up not winning the division now?
I don't know if I'd have any disappointment in them not winning the division. Obviously, that's what you want for this team. You want them to do that. It's certainly been a while, and so that would be very, very exciting. But you're still talking about a really talented Dodgers team that just has a way of playing good baseball down the stretch, which we saw last year. I mean, last year we were talking about the rotation being dinged up and the bullpen wasn't very good. And then we saw what we saw come October. They still got plenty of star power. They've got the pedigree and all that. And so I think the excitement of winning the division would be at a much higher level than the disappointment of not doing so, because realistically speaking, we weren't really thinking that was an option until they pull off these moves to the deadline. And the fact of the matter is the Dodgers haven't been playing particularly good baseball. They've been losing to teams you wouldn't expect them to lose to. Mookie Betts hasn't been very good. He had a 3-hit night the other night. So part of it is the Dodgers not playing to the level that maybe we expected them to, and that's opened the door on top of what the Padres have done, the way they've been playing and the moves that they've made. But I would just look at it as a positive rather than feeling let down unless it's there for the taking and the Padres just don't play well. But if they play well and they kind of match the Dodgers and somehow fall short, just get in the playoffs. You're probably going to run into them again, and let's see what happens in October.
Yeah, that is an interesting perspective. Like if they were to hand it away, like if they had a 2-game lead with 4 to play and then all of a sudden they didn't win the division, I think that's different than where we are right now. Darnay Tripp is with us from NBC 7. Where do you land, Darnay, in the Fernando Tatis Jr. scale of it's been a good year or it's been an average year or it's been a down year?
That's a good question. I think when he made the All-Star team, it reminded us of, how good he's been in the field and just the overall production level. And he had a really good couple weeks after that. And you're thinking, okay, I think one of my second half predictions was that Tatis would be like a top 3 MVP finalist. That's not looking like a great prediction.
Good job, Darnay.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Totally Jim Russell the situation.
Wow.
I mean, you have to look at it. Because again, it's like if we're using the sliding scale at all, that probably means it's been an underwhelming season, right? If we're having to be like, but the stolen bases, but a Gold Glove or Platinum Glove type season, we're probably doing that because he hasn't hit 30 homers yet, and he doesn't have an OPS over 9 or 950 or what have you, and he just hasn't had that look. I mean, Jim, you tweeted, was it been 4 homers since early May or something like that?
Yeah.
It's just not what we expect from the guy. And we see so many at-bats that just end. And I haven't looked at his, hard versus weak contact numbers in a while, but it feels like there's been a lot of weak contacts lately. And so it's been discouraging. We know, though, it's just like the flip of a switch, and all of a sudden you're seeing this like supersonic talent, and hopefully that comes at some point. But going back to these deadline moves, there are a lot of people that said, well, if Tatis isn't right, this team isn't going anywhere. Now, I think you look at it and you say, okay, if you have a Tatis who's like a 120 or 125, OPS plus, WRC plus type guy, probably not going to win you an MVP, but that might be enough with this lineup for this team to really go somewhere.
Of the new players that were acquired by AJ here at the trade deadline, who's the one guy that you see will be the most impactful for this team here in the second half?
Oh, that's a great. Have you guys answered this question, or are you just making me answer it?
I think we did answer it maybe the day of the deadline.
I don't remember.
We don't remember, though. Anything we say here, we don't remember.
I forget everything I say.
Good job, guys. I'm debating between Laureano and Mason Miller. Mm-hmm. I think, we know the importance of a bullpen. And so to have an arm like that, and, it's not like a starter, a guy that you see every 4 or 5 nights. You see him, twice in a 3-game stretch. You can see him pretty regularly in a playoff series. And so I think a guy like that, just based on the talent, but then you think what Laureano's done and the fact that, like, we've already seen there might be limited opportunities for Brian O'Hearn. That's not the case for Ramon Laureano. I mean, he is an everyday type left fielder. That's been tremendous. Defensively, he's really good. And he just hustles, runs really hard on the bases. So I'm stuck between those two. I'll go with Laureano, just a chance to impact the game in a number of different ways. And doesn't he seem like the type of guy that could be really annoying for an opposing team, an opposing fan base, just the way he plays hard, not a huge personality, flashy guy, but just seems to do the right thing. I could see him being really kind of the gem of this deadline. Obviously long-term, you hope it's Mason Miller, but in the near term, I'll go with Ramon Laureano.
Darnay Tripp with us right now, John and Jim. So they're getting Michael King back, and it's been nearly 3 months. I think he last pitched in the middle of May. How much is he a linchpin here in terms of getting them where they want to go?
I mean, potentially huge, and another thing we discussed is for so much of the season, you've had to rely so heavily on kind of like the depth options in the rotation, like Randy Vasquez on down, and shout out to Randy Vasquez. Like, he can be in my rotation. Like I enjoy watching him, and it's been cool seeing him have another really solid year. But the fact that, like, it's now down to Nestor Cortez, a guy that is like a proven veteran major league arm. And, maybe you need those depth guys, the Waldrons, the JP Sears of the world. But right now you don't necessarily need them in terms of your top 5, unless you're going 6 days or what have you to help out Darvish. To bring in Michael King, and not just an arm, but potentially their best arm. He and Pivetta or Cease, if Cease is like looking like Dylan Cease, Michael King is right in that mix, and a guy with, Cy Young caliber stuff. To bring him back in, I think, is enormous. We've seen what he's done in the postseason. We saw it last year against Atlanta. He's really, really stinking good. And I think what's encouraging about the nature of this particular injury is it's not one that I don't think you necessarily worry about re-injuring like a tendon or a muscle or that sort of thing. It seems like this freak thing. That's the way he's discussed it. And I think that's given him a lot of optimism that he can make an accelerated return and get back to being who he wants to be, because you're not worried about like a muscle given out or that sort of thing. So getting Michael King back is huge. And it just really feels like the pieces are falling in place for the Padres at a really good time.
I was just a little off on my Dylan Cease prediction of him getting traded.
No, you just said it was 100% and a guarantee.
Yeah, again, I was a little off.
John looks like a genius. John, what'd you say, like 20% or 0%
No, I
or something?
said more likely than not he stays. 51-49.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I was an idiot.
This is, again, it's not even the first time.
I don't think you were alone, though. I think a lot of people, I expected it. I was surprised.
Well, I mean, he's pitched fine in the second half. He's had one really bad game, but his other starts in the second half for the Padres, like, they've been pretty good.
Yeah, and it was Friday that he came out and was really, really good in his first start after the deadline. And yeah, it's in there. Like, we know it's in there. And even the start before that, I think it was when he gave up the grand slam, like Mike Schild had just spoken about how, it looks like he has no hitter stuff. And then just there's a one big swing or one big at bat or inning that things kind of get away from him. And if he can eliminate that and kind of hold steady, then you're looking at a guy that's obviously can be really effective and a huge asset to the rotation. And so it feels a little bit like Blake Snell in the past, where one big inning and it kind of goes sideways, but it's in there and he hits his groove and he's really good for a long stretch. We've been waiting for that for Dylan Cease, but I believe it's in there and hopefully it shows up at some point because, again, like Michael King, that's another one of the things that kind of changes the calculus with this team when you start to consider what they might be capable of the rest of the season.
Darnay, we appreciate you putting up with us and joining us here as regularly as you do.
We were actually we were talking about this earlier. We were very surprised how quickly you responded to us this morning.
Yeah, well, he didn't want to play. I agree. He didn't want to play the cat and mouse 400 text game just to say you're going to come on at 4:30, right? We just cut to the chase.
Let me just tell you how much better my life has been once I muted that conversation.
Oh, we talked about that too. We talked about this. How about this? All three of us have it muted, but here's the other thing. I tried to leave the group chat and I even Googled it, and the iPhone will not allow a 3-person group chat to have someone depart. It has to be 4 more people in a group chat.
So we were thinking, hear us out here. We were thinking of adding Annie to the group chat, and then whoever dumps out first, like, you're lucky.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do that to Annie.
No, it's great. I don't see any of the alerts, and I look at my phone. There's 35 missed messages, and I say, all right, I'll get to that at some point.
That's great. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for hopping on.
Thanks for having me.
All right. On the other side, we're going to hear from Mike Schild. He has just spoken with the media, Jim, at this hour, 3 hours in front of Padres and Red Sox. Mike Schild speaks.
Love to hear it.
But he only speaks for 3 minutes and 1 second.
I don't like it.
But we're going to hear from Mike Schild on the other side. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. We're giving away tickets today to Australian Pink Floyd. This is coming up August 17th. So just about a week from now at the Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Theater. We'll give those away in the 4 o'clock hour. Kevin Acee at 5:30. We hear from Mike Schild, Padres manager, next on John and Jim. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Next hour, your chance to win tickets to see Australian Pink Floyd at the Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Theater. That's on campus at SDSU, August 17th. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Kevin Acey coming up at 5:30. Let's see how long we can go without Jim speaking. We just aired an interview from yesterday. Did you speak that segment? Yeah, I like this. Let's hear from Mike Schill. Let's hear from Mike Schill. Now, I sat down with the media this afternoon. Maybe Jim will react, maybe not, this segment. We're going to hear from Mike Schill. This starts with him being asked about Fernando Tatis Jr. returning from his off day.
Yeah, I mean, Fernando had a day off, so yeah, we expect him to be back in the lineup today. But yeah, it's good to see him. And how do I feel? I feel great. I'm excited to get going.
Better get the start against his old team. Do you think there's any, despite what a player says, any difference, any particular edge when you face a team you used to play for at this level? Doesn't even matter.
I don't know. I think it probably is individual based. I think there's always something that, when you play a team that you had some time with, there's always something there.
Michael came back for you tomorrow. We talked to him. He's excited. Obviously, you are too. What's it do to the group, the rotation, and the room to get one of your horses back and ready to fire?
Yeah, I think it's really important. Michael's been a pillar for us all last year and, started off the season really in a Cy Young type fashion. And so he's excited. I'm excited. The team's excited. And anytime we get a guy like that, that's the top of the rotation guy back, clearly means a lot to the team.
You see, I'm going to need to ask you if there's a pitch count on him. So is there a pitch count on him?
Yeah, if there's going to be a pitch count on him.
Right around.
It's a competition, man. Yeah, I mean, he'll be on a pitch count. We'll monitor him. The pitch counts are always going to be fluid because, because of how hard he's working. If he's working with not very much effort or traffic, then, we can feel comfortable by extending him. If not, then it may be reduced.
Somewhere between 1 and 200.
Between 1 and 100. We'll narrow it down for you.
Yeah. You went to El Paso. Was it clear to you that it was going to be a one rehab and rejoin the team?
It was clear that was a good possibility that was going to be on the table.
And the placement between Pivetta and Cease after an off day, I mean, we might need more bullpen, and having, Pivetta go 7 like he does might be helpful for you guys.
It's part of it. I mean, it slid into where you guys didn't have the ability to grab more innings consistently and historically. But it was also just a good place for Michael to slot in.
You've had 6 games now since the trade deadline. You got a good handle on how to best optimize the lineup for your pieces?
I think we're always going to be fluid with that. But, yeah, I feel like we got a pretty good handle from really day one. The transition's been good. Continue to work and see what these guys can do and bring and get the moving parts all trying to work the best way possible together. But, yeah, I feel pretty good about it.
For me, it was sitting behind a first-out Hall of Famer for a long time in Kansas City. Getting him in here to seeing him every day, what have you seen from him?
I mean, a lot to like about Freddie. He's a really smart player, really prepared, really hungry. He calls a good game, receives a good game, throws the ball well, takes good at bats, does what the game calls for. He's just a really professional guy that, for me at least, clearly knows how to play the game to win.
All right, so that was Mike Schill. Let me react. I'm kidding. You have to speak, I think. Although I will say this, and Brent, we just put this out on the rundown. We're going to hear from Michael King on the other side coming up at 4 p.m. as he is now a day out from making his return. He hasn't pitched in the big leagues in about 3 months. What I think about what Mike Schill had to say, Jim, what did I think about that? I will say this about Schill. See how long we can go without Jim speaking. I will say this about Schill. Ever since the trade deadline, and Jim has sensed this, I can tell just on his mannerisms, he's been a little shorter. He's more to the point. He was probably asked 7 questions there, and we only had 3 minutes of audio. It used to be you ask him one question, and where do I start? Wow, look at this lineup. Now he's like matter of fact, business, right? Like that's how it seems to me. What do you think, John? Yeah, I agree. It's a good point. All right, talk.
Okay. We were really trying to see how long I could go
without speaking on the show.
Like, I was like, hey, we got Michael King sound. Let's play at the top of the hour. There's another 5 minutes. And we could have literally gone like
40 minutes.
40 minutes without me speaking.
Well, you do the updates.
Take away from the updates.
You do the updates, yeah.
Oh man,
How was that?
It was
feel good.
It felt refreshing. I felt like I'd had a mini off day there.
Do you have a stamina issue where you feel like you're a better host after like 20 minutes of not talking?
Bro, no.
Okay.
But I do feel the same way as you. When he's short, he can. I'm not going to say it, but he's just when he comes off as short like he was there. It's like, okay, Mike's not in a mood today to talk, right?
Right.
Because you're asking questions and Mike's like, I'm not going to tell you. Like, bro, it's just,
Right.
hey, what's the pitch count you think from Michael King? And he thinks it's some kind
It's
of
a competition.
He thinks it's some kind of competitive advantage by not saying those types of things. Which I mean, maybe it is. Like, you don't want to know. You don't want to have their team know, like, hey guys, he's got a 70 pitch limit. Let's make sure we go out and try to get him out by the third inning.
Right. By the way, remember earlier when I'm like, Tatis has not had a multi-homer game since last March?
Yeah.
He had a multi-homer game at home against the Cubs in April in a 10-4 win. Remember that?
I remember it like it was yesterday.
That's when he was going. I mean, there was that run. I mean, he really got off to a great start, but he did have a multi-homer game. I think that's one of the two he's hit over the last 3 seasons.
I may have forgot.
Yeah, but he did have a multi-homer game earlier this year. Let's hear from Michael King on the other side. The wrap is ahead. Kevin Acey will join us coming up at 5:30. We're here until 6 p.m. Hour 3, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app next.
This update's brought to you by the Jim Petrell Real Estate Team. Padres Red Sox start a 3-game series tonight at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres, going up against his old team. And Walker Buehler on the mound for the Red Sox. Tomorrow night, SDFC takes on Kansas City on the road. 5:45 kickoff. 5:15 is when our pregame coverage starts. You can listen to that match right here on San Diego Sports 760. And Shams reporting about an hour ago, the opening night of the 2025-2026 NBA season will be on NBC on October 21st. The opening game will be the Rockets at Thunder. The nightcap will be Warriors at the Lakers. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Petrell has the buyers. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Your favorite pair, John and Jim.
Are you bilingual, Jim, by chance? Do you know what that would mean?
I can speak multiple languages.
What?
You've turned into like a Harvard grad over the last week.
No.
Yes. I can't fool you anymore.
Can't even say languages right. Speak multiple languages. There we go.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
Now, live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour 3, John and Jim. Padres, Red Sox. Game 1 of a 3-game series coming up tonight at 6:40. We'll hear from Kevin Acee at 5:30. We'll give away tickets to Australian Pink Floyd this hour. If you missed the radio voice of the Red Sox, Will Fleming, you'll hear that conversation coming up as well. Wrap-up show tonight following Game 1 of this series 2.
What a day.
TOO. What a day. What a day. Very busy day.
It's always busy.
It really, when you do a 4-hour show,
especially in the middle of a baseball season and in August after a trade deadline, team's really good.
Yes, I agree. It's busy. A lot going on.
Day.
It's good. All right. So Michael King, we haven't seen him. I mean, we've seen him, but we haven't seen him on the mound in months, right? It was the middle of May. It was very surprising when he went out. Jim was away.
It's probably because of me.
Yeah. And
it's all my fault.
And Michael King had a bad night of sleep in Atlanta. And was scratched the day of the start.
Night of sleep.
A bad night of sleep in Atlanta that led to 80 days, something like that, between starts from May 18th to tomorrow, which is what, August 8th or August 9th? I mean, it's been a long time. But Michael King was with the media this afternoon inside the clubhouse at Petco Park and had this to say.
Oh, definitely 100%. I mean, I know I've said it for a little bit, but once I started getting function back, it was really just building up. So physically feel great, and just trying to be now efficient as I possibly can with the pitch count I have.
Emotionally, it's been a heck of a grind. How do you feel between the years?
Great. I definitely had my pity party, but a lot of fun things have happened in these last couple months. Obviously, I'm a dad. I got a bunch of new teammates. We're playing really well, and it's been a fun last couple of months. So I'm just glad to be part of it now.
Always agonizing when you have to sit and watch everybody else do their thing and you can't be a full part of it. I know you tried your best to be supportive and whatnot, but now you get to really contribute the way you're capable. What does it mean to you to get this shot when it seemed like for a stretch the season might even be in doubt?
I will say I never felt that way. But I mean, yeah, it's way more fun to be part of a team that's winning. And so cheering on your team as best you possibly can is the best way that I could have supported and tried to get as many wins as possible. And then now physically coming back and trying to get as many wins. So that's really the goal right now.
When did it become real to you that you would be making this start?
Probably when I wrote out my own throwing program a while ago, but I think I'm a day later than I wanted it to be. So it's all good. I won't blame the trainers for that.
Michael, how did the rehab out in the field at AAA?
Felt fine. I definitely missed a couple spots, but hitting the first batter wasn't ideal as well. But I mean, obviously, in those moments, I'm just trying to build up pitch count and make sure my body's feeling great. And it was hot, but I definitely feel confident going into tomorrow.
What's your level of excitement? I know you never wanted to miss time, but to come back post-trade deadline, obviously a group that has a great chance to do this thing. But what is your level of excitement to come back right here, right now?
Yeah, I don't think I've been on a team as good as this. So I all I want to do is contribute and let the offense bang, and hopefully that I can give up less runs than we score every time out. So it's been fun to just even like game plan for a team. I haven't done that in a while. It'd be fun to call a game again and do those scouting reports. So it's just really fun to get back to the group.
Does it feel almost like opening day all over again?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I've still been a part of it, so I was trying to stay locked in. Schulte gave me good advice of like really trying to almost pretend like you're going every fifth day and then not going every fifth day. So I've been mentally trying to stay prepared for everything. Definitely felt a lot different than a normal like off season and build up.
So you kind of pitch count on you tomorrow?
You're gonna have to talk to Schulte about that one.
Not self-imposed.
Isn't that in your throwing program? I mean, didn't you dictate everything, right? Did you have an idea of what you want to do, what you can do?
I definitely have an idea, but I don't know if I'm the final say. I just want to be as efficient as possibly can. That's really the main goal, and we got a dominant bullpen, so give it to those guys with the lead.
When you're saying this is the best team that you've been a part of, how much of an extra motivating factor was that for you to get back?
Absolutely. I think that, like top down, if you're looking at even our team last year or any team I've been on, it's best bullpen I've been a part of, best rotation I've been a part of, probably best lineup I've been a part of. And when you have all three of those guys working, it's a pretty tough force. So the excitement for me to actually be a part of it is definitely real.
You wrote your own program. Did you go to El Paso knowing you only need one rehab assignment?
I kind of pushed for no rehab assignments, but you have to give and take in a negotiation.
Did you throw in the bullpen afterwards? You hit 61 pitches?
No, 61 is it.
Okay, so we're thinking 80-ish is normal.
Whatever you think.
Okay.
Sorry if this was asked, but can there be a silver lining here? Just the fact that you have some time off.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, my goal even last year was 200 innings, so obviously I can't get to that unless I throw for like 200 straight innings now. But I try to look at the positives, and so like being able to be there for the birth of my kid and help my wife out a little bit was one of the silver linings. But then I mean, I want to be as fresh as I possibly can for September and October, and hopefully we can make some noise here at the end of the season.
How anxious is your wife to have you just back?
Well, baby should be here tomorrow for her first baseball game, so that'll be fun. We're gonna try to get her out of the crowd and the crazies and the fans here. But I mean, she's been super supportive of me, and I can't thank her enough for what she's done for our kid, and even just being able to like let me be myself and do my rehab and obviously family's first, but like still know that I have another job to do. So she's been taking on much more of a role than I'm sure she expected, and she's absolutely crushed it. So it's really cool to see.
Was there ever a point where you're like bouncing around the house and she's like, "You got to go back. I need you out here"?
I hope not. I hope I'm a helpful hand, but and I obviously miss her every time we're on the road, that kind of stuff. But I mean, I would hope that she would answer a no, but probably I've been annoying at some point.
Man, so the media really wants to know, especially Derek Tuggerson, wants to know his pitch count for tomorrow.
I mean, everyone. It's always I
get it.
It's an interesting part of it.
Yeah,
but everyone knows the answer, which is what did he throw in AAA? 61.
So it's probably 70.
15 more. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely not throwing more than 80 pitches. He certainly isn't throwing fewer than 55 pitches if everything's fine.
As Schultz said,
it was 70 pitches.
Yeah, Schultz said it's between 1 and 100.
Yeah, so it'll be 70 or 75 pitches. The interesting note there is that while he was on the IL, he became a father, which we knew, but his child will be at Petco Park for his return to the mound tomorrow at Petco Park, which is a pretty cool note for Michael King, but he seems amped up. And
Padres fans should be amped up as well.
Yeah, and it's honestly, I'm not going to overreact to his start. If it's 4 1/3 innings and there's a little bit of laboring in there and it's not perfect and it's 3 or 4 runs, it's one start. If he's healthy out of it, that's what's going to matter for me, especially just right now with them pointed in the right direction. 9-2 in their last 11. They don't have to win every time out. You know he wants to win every time out. It's not like you have to sweep the Red Sox. I just want to see him healthy, looking like himself, and pitching more effectively as the season goes on.
Welcome back, Michael King. Oh, by the way, your first start is against a red-hot Red Sox team. And oh, by the way, your second start is against the Dodgers in L.A. Good luck.
Right. And oh, by the way, your third start maybe is again against the Dodgers. We have to see how that lines up.
Maybe. It might be against San Francisco.
And I think you're right. I think it's San Francisco. I think you're right.
at Dodger Stadium, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday would be a Giants game, and then you would miss the next weekend.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're right.
So you got Red Sox, Dodgers, Giants.
And then would it be Seattle on the road?
Seattle.
That's not easy. Thrown right in.
But here's the thing. He's their ace, right?
I think he's capable of being their ace.
Like at their best, you would put Michael King as
At
your
the
one.
top
right?
of the rotation. Yeah.
I think I would too. If all of them were healthy and they're all pitching their best, it's hard to say that Michael King wouldn't be your game one starter, because guess what? He was your game one starter last year.
Right. You're right.
And they had a full rotation. But we didn't know Musgrove's arm's going to blow up. No, I'm serious.
I know. Yeah, exactly. We didn't. You're exactly right. And it was King in game one, dominant, 12 strikeouts, no runs against Atlanta.
So yeah, this guy's your ace. You're getting your ace back. That's a huge boost for a team. When you know you're getting your ace back on the mound and you're already playing really good baseball and you made all these trades and you upgraded your team and you addressed all your weaknesses.
Yeah, it's like the Schulte line, which again is so cliche, but it's true. I mean, you get a Michael King back in the second half of a year, and there is a lot of real value. Even beyond a trade deadline, you don't know what you're getting at the deadline. You could look at numbers and be like, oh my gosh, look at this player's numbers, and we're just going to trade for him. He's going to be great. But you know who Michael King is if he's healthy. We've seen it play out. He's made his 40 or 50 starts as a Padre. The variables with a player like, for example, Ryan O'Hearn was a very good player with Baltimore. We don't know that's who he's going to be. We were encouraged by what happened the other day in Arizona, but we don't know he's going to live up to that. So you're right. I think it's a big acquisition for the Padres in the final 2 months of the year. Let's get to the wrap on the other side of a break. And then at 4:30, if you missed it, Will Fleming, radio voice of the Boston Red Sox, with more on tonight and this 3-game set at Petco Park this weekend. But we'll get to the wrap on the other side. Will Fleming at 4:30. Kevin Acey, our Padres insider, will join us live at 5:30. And also later this hour, your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Australian Pink Floyd August 17th at the Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Theater on campus at San Diego State. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. The wrap. It'll come your way next on John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. AM radio keeps vital voices accessible. Congress can secure its future, but we need your help. Text AM to 52886 now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell your member of Congress to pass legislation now and keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates apply. Will Fleming, radio voice of the Red Sox at 4:30. Kevin Acey, our Padres insider, at 5:30. And right now, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Will Michael King go 5 innings tomorrow?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say he goes 4 innings tomorrow because I think this Red Sox lineup is tough, and it's his first outing back, and I don't think they're going to push him at all. So I'm going to say no. He doesn't go 5 innings tomorrow, but he gives you 4.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's going to go 5 because that pitch count, which will probably be in that mid-70s, and you're talking about high leverage innings. It's the major leagues, the adrenaline. I don't think they'll push it, would be my guess, in his return. But hopefully he's effective in the innings. He does work, hopefully between 4 and 5. I don't think 5 is impossible. But with this bullpen and with the off day and with Pivetta tonight, I don't think you need him to go 5 innings, truthfully. So hopefully 4+ effective innings for King in his return to the mound tomorrow night. Next question.
Which NBA opening night game are you looking most forward to? The Rockets at OKC or the Warriors at the Lakers?
Yeah, Jim.
Well, I mean, my answer is Warriors-Lakers. But
why do you hate Shea?
I thought OKC's your new favorite team.
But I will say, good troll job by the NBA. Because did you figure this out that Kevin Durant will be watching the OKC Thunder raise their first NBA championship
in
banner
Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma City.
No, I didn't figure that out. That's an amazing point.
That is such a epic troll job by the NBA.
Man, that is fascinating.
On ring and banner night, KD will be in the building.
Dude, and he has obviously become persona non grata. There was the first half of his career in Oklahoma, and then he left. And then they ended up winning without him.
I think the fans of the Thunder are okay now because they have a championship.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't think he's a very well-liked figure.
I don't think so either, but it's not like it was when it was peak hatred when he joined the Warriors in 2016.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And it's been so long now, like you just said. I mean, it's been a decade since he's been there. And the funny thing is, it's not that funny, is that Houston has a legitimate shot heading into the year to, I mean, again, maybe be in the conversation at the end of the year to challenge Oklahoma City in the West. So I would say, truthfully, I'm more looking forward to Houston and Oklahoma City because you got a champion against Kevin Durant with a new team. I mean, Golden State and Lakers, we see it like every day.
Let me ask you this. Bonus question. Which game gets the better ratings?
Which game is first? 8 o'clock Eastern will get a better rating than 10:30 because half of the people at 10:30 aren't awake.
Even though it's Lakers Warriors?
I mean, it's a great question. Let's see. I think 10:30 Eastern, you're pushing it from a ratings perspective because all the East is sleeping.
I think it's going to be close.
Maybe close, but I think ultimately OKC edges it out. If you switched it, it would obviously be Lakers Warriors. But because they play at 10:30 in the East, I think it'll be Oklahoma City Houston. But it might be close. It may.
Okay.
I circle that. Remember, we'll have to look up those ratings. Next question.
I already forgot.
Me too.
Well, Fernando hit a home run this weekend.
Yes, I'm calling it. At least one home run, and he's hitting that tonight. Like, I'm calling the shot.
You said he's hit 4 home runs off Buehler. It's 5.
4 regular season.
And then the last,
one in the postseason.
Gotcha.
I think tonight is a very good matchup for Tatis. I think he sees Buehler very well. Obviously, the numbers back that up. So, yeah, I'm going Tatis is going to hit a home run this weekend. More specifically, he will hit one tonight.
Yeah, that would be big for his confidence, I would guess, because he's hit so few over the last couple of months. He's hit the most home runs against any pitcher in Walker Buehler. He hasn't hit more than 5 against anyone in the major leagues in his career. So, man, that would be nice if he could get off the schneid, so to speak, and homer tonight against Walker Buehler. But will he homer this weekend? Yes, he will homer this weekend. Next question.
When we come into the station on Monday, will the Padres be tied for the NL West lead?
Well, that would mean that The Padres would have to sweep the Red Sox or win 2 of 3, while the Dodgers would have to be swept by Toronto, correct?
Or lose 2 of 3 if the Padres sweep.
Correct. So no, they will not be in. They will not be tied for the National League West come Monday. I just hope that they're still within 2 at the worst come Monday. But no, I don't think they'll be tied for the National League West on Monday.
That's a good point. I think that doing work here is taking 2 of 3 and knowing the Dodgers have Toronto. And is that series in Toronto?
No, it's in LA.
It's in LA, right? They just showed inside Dodger Stadium on MLB Network. Yeah, I think you take 2 out of 3 and you're fine. You're absolutely fine, because what are you going to be, 2 games out at worst? The Dodgers really sweeping the Blue Jays this weekend, I guess maybe, but the Blue Jays have been red hot. So 2 out of 3, stay the course. There's so many games, 40-something games. You don't have to make up the ground right now. You can do it against them. You can do it after that. I mean, you're fine. If it was 6 games, now you're thinking about on the margins. Got to pick up a game here or there.
Yeah.
It's 2 games. Yep. Go win 2 out of 3. You're not going to be worse than 2 games out, in my opinion, come Monday.
I hope so, because I want that series next weekend
to be like first place on the line.
Oh, yeah. I want that series to be first place on the line. I want the following series, the following weekend, which will be here at Petco Park, to be either first place on the line or the Padres have the lead in the National League West.
Yeah,
because this place will be bonkers.
I'll say this too, because when you're playing those divisional games, you're like, man, you're a game out, and then you lose. Like, oh, so much to overcome, and then you win. You're like, we're so close. I mean, there's again the 2-game swing. When you're in a division, you're playing the team that's in front of you basically every night. Represents a 2-game swing, so it's just so magnified.
And we'll talk about it more as we get closer to next Friday night. But the bad blood that these teams had for each other. I mean, Mason Miller even said it on Foul Territory. He's like, yeah, one of the first things I was told here is we don't like them.
Right.
And we all remember what happened the last time the Padres faced the Dodgers. So, yeah, it's going to be even heightened now that it's the bad blood, the history, what happened the last series they faced each other, the postseason last year, all the games last season. Oh, and by the way, potentially the National League West division title is up for grabs come, late this season. And they're going to be playing each other 6 times here in the next 2 weeks. Like, sign me up.
Yeah, completely sign me up. And oh, by the way, just looking real quick, no, they don't. It might have been earlier in the year. I thought they had a World Series ring night against the Padres. That must have been earlier in the year.
Yeah.
All right, on the other side, but they're doing a Mookie Betts World Series ring coming up next week, actually. All right, coming up on the other side, Will Fleming, radio voice of the Red Sox, previewing tonight and this weekend, Padres and Red Sox in San Diego. Then Kevin Acey will join us at 5:30, our Padres insider. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's brought to you by Mattress Firm. We'll start with the Padres. They start a 3-game series tonight at Petco Park against the Boston Red Sox. Nick Pivetta on the mound against his former team. Walker Buehler on the mound for the Red Sox tonight. And tomorrow night, STFC takes on Kansas City on the road. 5:45 kickoff, 5:15 pregame. Listen to that match right here on San Diego Sports 760. And NBA news, Shams reported it earlier this afternoon. Opening night of the NBA season will be on October 21st on NBC. Rockets at Thunder, and the following game of the doubleheader will be Warriors at Lakers. Need better sleep this Labor Day weekend? Upgrade to premium sleep at Mattress Firm's best sale of the year. Let their sleep experts match you with their perfect bed to get the rest you deserve. They make sleep easy. Shop Mattress Firm's best sale of the year.
All right, John and Jim, Kevin AC will join us coming up at 5:30. If you missed our conversation, Will Fleming, radio announcer for the Boston Red Sox. And we started it by asking about Jarren Duran because the Red Sox have really taken off. Of course, Duran was a big name around here at the deadline. He stays in Boston. He's playing well. How much has that impacted the Red Sox good play?
Yeah, I don't think you can overstate it. He's been enormous. And I do think, guys, that it was a really difficult decision facing the Red Sox as they struggled, say, a month ago. And they have too many left-handed hitting outfielders. They just inked Roman Anthony, this massive extension. He's their next superstar player. But Wilyer Abreu, they have Jarren, and they got this kid, Cedon Rafaela, who's just an absolute freak in center field defensively. So they do have too many of those. And they were, I think, rightly considering adding to areas that they needed help in, like starting pitching and other things. But then they got hot, and he became sort of indispensable to what they're doing. And it's going to be a tough call in the offseason again, because I think that they'll get more calls on him, and I think they'll revisit it then. But, you know, Alex Bregman has come over to this Red Sox club and been an enormous leader. Trevor Story has gotten hot and healthy again, and he leads this club too, and Crochet on the pitching side. But in some ways, Duran is the heartbeat of this team. And he's kind of like, you know, like Merrill was last year, but, you know, the Tatis of your group, where it's speed too, which is such a different thing, where there's something about a guy who, when he hits the ground ball into the outfield, he's ripping around first and slides in head first to lead off a game into second base that just jumpstarts a team. His teammates love him. He gets the loudest ovations of anybody at Fenway. I mean, he's just adored in our fan base. So it's a very difficult decision that faces them. I'm glad they kept him. He's been enormous. And by the way, Alex Cora also slotted him down in the order. He decided, you know what, we need him to be able to be more free on the bases. And if he's hitting ahead of Bregman and some of these other guys, he didn't run as much. So they put him in the 3-hole, and for a weekend series, he hit a couple homers and drove in like 9 runs. So he's not your typical 3-hole hitter, but he's been great down there. He's been fantastic to watch.
Rarely can you say a team loses maybe their best player and they get better. When they traded away Rafi Devers, they were 37-36, and then they went on their run. What was it about that trade in particular that ended up helping the Red Sox instead of hurting them, which some people thought that it might?
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that it would help them, right? But it was just a culture thing. They needed to make the move, and you know, it's been relitigated a lot of times. But since that trade, the Red Sox have, I think, about the best record in baseball, and the Giants have one of the worst. And you know, the Red Sox maybe mismanaged the communication around Rafi in the offseason, but everybody in the world knew that they were looking at Bregman, and if not him, Arenado, and that Rafi, by the numbers, was the worst defensive third baseman in the game. And so, whether it was his agent or the front office or whomever, didn't properly communicate it to him, it was plain as day that he needed to not be the Red Sox third baseman once they got Bregman in the mix. And then Bregman gets hurt, and Tristan Casas gets hurt too. And they need both the first and third baseman, and Rafi will not play either. And the owner flies into Kansas City out of nowhere after Rafi publicly crushes the general manager in the media. This is a guy who would not talk to the media except to rip the team. And so it had to happen culturally. And it's not that short of a distance between making that move, setting the tone, and then opening up the room for other guys like Duran and Showdown and others to lead and to, set a better example culturally. So, and by the way, the defense got better. And then just the tactical side of things, the Red Sox have this roster that at that time with Devers, if he was only going to be the designated hitter, it limited the time that other people could get in there. By the way, it prevented them from having Roman Anthony on the roster because of what we've already talked about. They have so many outfielders. They'd like to use the extra outfielder as the designated hitter. But if Raffy was only going to be in that spot, they couldn't have Anthony on the roster, and they'd have to sit one of, say, Don or Willie or Abreu or Duran. That's just not good for the team. And moreover, they got these two guys in Rob Refsnyder and Romy Gonzalez who absolutely annihilate left-handed pitching. And when Raffy was in there, he was going to be the DH no matter what. Those guys have gotten more run. The rest of the players are in there more often, and it's worked out like dynamite for the Red Sox.
That is really good insight. Will Fleming in town as the Red Sox take on the Padres tonight. Game one of a 3-game series. Obviously, a huge weekend series for both of these teams. The Padres, of course, very familiar with Walker Buehler, who starts tonight opposite Nick Pivetta. Guys like Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. have a ton of career at bats against Buehler. Has he begun to turn a corner? You look at the overall numbers; they aren't good, but it looks like maybe over the last month or so he's pitched better.
Yeah, I mean, he had a really good start in Philadelphia, but it's been hit and miss for him. I would not say he's yet turned a corner. He went down to Atlanta at the All-Star break to try to find something. I've talked to him about it. He's been pretty open about it. He is a ultimate tinkerer. The thing with Walker is that after the arm surgery, and really for a couple of years now, he just doesn't have that lightning bolt for an arm. And, any Padre fan who watched him for all those years with the Dodgers knew that was his real kryptonite, right? The be able to ride the rails, that fastball top of the zone was just awesome. And he doesn't have that now. The fastball is 91, 92, and he's trying to figure out a way to do that and live with that pitch. And it just hasn't worked. And the other thing about Buehler is that, and I'm sure the Padre hitters remember this well, when he was with the Dodgers, he had 6, 7, 8 pitches that all worked well. So you got into the batter's box and you had no idea what was coming. But now the Red Sox believe that since he doesn't throw as hard, he sometimes gets in his own head and tries to throw too many pitches too often. And they want him to try to kind of hone in on 2 or 3 and, work on those and get it going. But he gets in way too many deep counts and then falls behind and gives up damage. It's on paper tonight is a bad matchup for the Red Sox. We from afar have all known what Nick Pavetta's been doing. I sort of have a hunch that it might not go great for Nick tonight, just kind of, intuition of watching him all these times. Like in big spots against Toronto and New York in his career, he had some awesome starts for the Red Sox, but there were some where the emotions got the better part of him. You guys have seen Pivetta, right? I mean, he's an absolute maniac on the mound. But I think that could maybe work against him tonight, just looking into that other dugout and into the batter's box and seeing so many former teammates. But on paper, anyway, it's not a good matchup for the Red Sox here in San Diego. As hot as the Sox have been, and they have, and they've been so much fun to watch. You come in here against a hot Padre team, and then you go to Houston, a team you swept at your place, who's looking for some revenge. These 6 games, for me, guys, if the Red Sox were able to kind of just go 500 on this road trip, that would be a huge victory in just the way it works in baseball on the road. And that's not what they're thinking, given how hot they've been, but that's sure how I'm thinking. And that certainly starts with the pitching advantage the Padres have tonight.
Yeah, and back to Nick Pivetta. He's had a fantastic year. One could argue he's one of the best pickups in the offseason. He's going to get Cy Young votes this year if he continues to pitch this way. Been in Boston for most of his career. When you were, calling his games and watching him every 5th day, did you see this in Nick Pivetta? What did you see in Nick Pivetta that could lead you down the path of oh yeah, he could be this guy, which he is this year for the Padres?
Nothing. No, that's not. So I would say that the thing about Nick was there were always nights when he looked like the best pitcher in the game. He'd have 4 or 5 of those a year. And then almost inevitably he would have a blow-up game. And he really hasn't had that with the Padres. And that's what's been surprising to me. Now the Red Sox, if you look at it, they had Eovaldi, they had this guy, they had Chris Sale, they had Michael Wacha, and they moved on from those people. And they're now desperate for starting pitching depth. So, there are some questions to be asked about what's going on in terms of evaluating older pitchers and being unwilling to commit to them. But I did not at the time fault the Red Sox at all for not extending Nick Pivetta. I mean, they gave him a qualifying offer. It went right down to the end in the spring training until he got the offer that he did from the Padres. And obviously it's a credit to San Diego because, my God, he's unlocked something. Whatever it is, whatever they've changed with him has really clicked something. I mean, there would be nights when, you know, he'd go 1, 2, 3 in the first inning and go sit in the dugout and like slam the top of the cooler with his glove because he was pissed off about something.
Yeah.
And obviously from afar, I don't watch all of his starts. Maybe he's curtailed a little bit of that stuff. Certainly the pitch mix seems a little bit different and better. I'm happy for him, but this is one where I cannot fault the Red Sox at all for not making a long-term investment in him.
Will, one more before you go, just on Xander, who has been mired in a bit of a Padres long slump, right? He's been widely criticized here throughout his first 2+ years, but he has turned his season around. We'll see about his contract around. He's turned his season around over the last couple of months. What's it been like from your seat to watch some of his struggles from afar and now see him actually put it together? I don't know if he's playing like he did in Boston, but he's playing like a player closer to Boston than he was earlier in his Padres career.
Yeah, he is. And he'll never be the guy he was in Boston. He's older now, right?
Yep.
He's a different player. And that's just part of it. And I think, it's a good thing he's not in a place like Philadelphia or New York or even Boston as a free agent coming over with that contract, because he's not ever going to live up to the deal. He isn't. Like, it was a stupid number to give him. It just was. Like, there's no way to justify the actual contract. Now, the Red Sox at that time should have made him a better offer, and he probably should have finished his career in Boston. He's beloved. And as you guys know, like, he's one of my all-time favorite guys. And so it's been hard to watch him struggle as he has in San Diego. I think the Padres fan base, I hope anyway, now this is so hard to do, but you need to just forget the contract, right? And just hope that he gives you production for the next 3-4 years. And he started to do that. These homers that he's hit have been super important. And we remember all those times with the Red Sox. When he gets hot, he can carry an offense for a while. And the thing about here, you know this very well, he doesn't need to be the dude. There are a lot of guys in that order that can protect him. And if he goes cold, Padres can still win. So I think it's a really good setup for him. I hope the fans can kind of move on from the contract. And oh, by the way, this is true of all the guys they have, whether it's Machado, the huge dollars he's making, all of the money they've given to all these pitchers, the trade for Miller, everything. The Padres are in this mode that in some ways the Red Sox were 25 years ago. And that is, none of that will matter. No one will care if they win a World Series. But they do have to. I mean, they've got the kind of roster, the kind of pitching, the offense, although, it's been a little bit erratic at times. They've got the club that can win the World Series. And if they do, you won't care about overpaying for Xander or the dollars that you've committed to Machado and Tatis and all these guys. It's World Series or bust, which is why AJ deals like a maniac, like he always does. It's a really fun team to be a fan for in that way. And I get the sense that it's going to be a very fun 3 days here.
Extremely well said. Will, we love your perspective. We appreciate you taking time. Have some good calls. Enjoy San Diego. We know it's tough. It's going to be tough this weekend. It might be 78.
Yeah, it's going to be a little hot, so we apologize.
Bring a fan.
I was gonna get some fish tacos, but instead I got to hang some drywall here. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
Perfect.
Jim will be over shortly. Thanks, Will. Appreciate it, man.
My pleasure. See you, buddy.
All right, on the other side, speaking of Xander Bogaerts, he has spoken with the media as he gets ready to face off against the Red Sox again. Padres and Red Sox coming up. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. We'll hear from Xander Bogaerts coming up next and give away a pair of tickets to see Australian Pink Floyd on August 17th here in San Diego. Don't go anywhere. It's Sean and Jim. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Kevin AC hopping on at 5:30 as we get ready for Padres and Red Sox. Just a huge weekend series here in downtown San Diego. Also, STFC back tomorrow night, taking on Sporting Kansas City at Snapdragon. You can hear the match live tomorrow night starting at 7 or 5 right here on San Diego Sports 760, your home for STFC.
They're on the road too.
They're on the road. It's been in my update all day long. Match starts at 5.
Okay, well, listen.
Hold on. Let me. I know.
No, to his defense and in mine though, there was a typo in the play-by-play schedule, so that's what I copied.
Who does the play-by-play schedule?
Not me.
I thought you send out the play-by-play schedule.
He copies it.
I copy
You
it.
send out the play-by-play schedule.
So here's the thing. Tomorrow's match is at 5:45. Pre-game will start at 5 p.m. I've been saying 5:15 all day. They're actually moving it up to 5 p.m., just starting it right at 5 o'clock.
So it's not at Snapdragon.
No, it's not.
It's not at 7.
No.
It is against Sporting KC.
Correct.
In Kansas City.
Correct.
5:45 Pacific, 5 p.m. pregame.
Correct.
Just like we said.
Exactly.
All right. Xander Bogaerts against his former team. Not the first time with the universal schedule. Obviously, you play everyone every year, but Bogaerts asked about it, and it starts here with the media in the clubhouse when asked by Marty Caswell, our former colleague. Is it just another series for Xander Bogaerts?
Series for you, Xander?
It's gonna be a fun one, you know. Whenever we play against these guys, you know, I got a lot of memory, a lot of good relationships over there, you know, and we're in a good spot right now as a team. So hopefully we can go one day at a time and win the series.
Two very good teams, both pushing for a playoff spot. How back and forth do you expect these games, the series to be?
I expect it to be. You know, these guys, they've been playing really good baseball, especially as of late. You know, I mean, since a couple of weeks before the All-Star break, they've been playing really good ball. So very young team, a lot of energy, you know, a lot of talent. I remember a lot of those guys over there now when they were prospects, you know, when I was over there. So to see them now in the big leagues, it's pretty cool.
Do you feel like you were playing the best stretch of baseball since you signed with the Padres?
I wouldn't say that. You know, I mean, September of 23 was a nice one, you know, so it's good. It's good to be able to contribute, you know, and being a part of the special thing that we have going on right now.
Power seems like it's really starting to emerge. You starting to feel like you're maybe tapping into that in game a little more often?
No, it's good that it's going over. You know, I mean, we're hitting a lot of nice balls right at guys towards the wall. So being able to get a couple go out has been very nice, and not have to kind of blow it out, you know, and then it's staying in. So it's been nice.
You've faced them before, but do you still feel any certain type of emotions when you're facing them?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I would imagine, you know, last year I didn't play. I was hurt. But in all honesty, I think it's a different team. You know, a lot of guys that are on that team right now, I never played with. I think Duran might be, I'm not sure. It's Trevor, Duran and Trevor. I don't know if they're the only ones. But all the other guys, a lot of the younger guys that came up, I knew of them in the system, you know, so I mean, even that Rafaela guy, I mean, he's from Curacao, you know, so I know him from a while now, and all the other young guys that they have now, I know of them coming up to the system.
How big is it knowing that you get Michael King back tomorrow?
Oh, that's huge, you know. I mean, he's definitely been one of the best, if not the best pitcher on our team even since last year, you know, so hopefully he comes back, just have a nice, healthy outing. I mean, I don't want to put any expectation on that, but just coming out healthy, I think would be a win.
Xander, how do you view this lineup now, 1 through 9? Obviously, the new acquisitions have made some pretty big contributions so far.
Yeah, and seems like every game, you know, or with that big homer off the lefty. I mean, that was probably very relief for him. You know, Ariano doing a tremendous job. I just feel like for me, getting on base like 3 times a game. I mean, it's just a lot more deeper, you know, and I mean, going into the deadline, I mean, I feel like those were the positions maybe that, you know, they felt like we could have get a little bit more help. And I mean, they did what they did. And it's obviously nice to get results right away. I think in any business, any sport that you play, it's always nice.
It's a small sample size, but as you said, to see those moves come in and pay off almost immediately, just within the first week? Does that kind of reaffirm or reinforce the fact that, these guys are the right additions?
I mean, the day we got him, I mean, just seeing the names, you already kind of have a feel that it's the right addition. Now if it's going to play out the way, you got to wait. But just seeing the names and knowing how they're playing this year, their careers and stuff like that, I mean, it feels like it was the right ones, And Fermin was the one I kind of really didn't know a lot about. I mean, playing a little behind Salvi, Salvi was the one that plays a lot more over there. So him getting a chance now, I think that's huge for him.
Sit behind a future Hall of Famer. You're probably not going to see a whole lot of playing time.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe that's why good chance for him to get out and us to get him. Us to go. I feel like we went pretty aggressive after him. For what we gave up. I mean, Kolak and Berger, they're a huge reason why we are where we are here. To be honest, those guys, they stepped up when was needed, and you couldn't really ask for much more.
Hey, Xander, Jose Iglesias, looking at that series in Arizona, turns the huge double play in extras on Tuesday, has the base hit to give you the lead on Wednesday. I know you're close with him. How do you quantify his value as a teammate, as somebody on this team?
No, man. It's just every game that he's in, it's something that he's doing, and even if he's not, whenever you put him in, you have to feel like he's going to do something, and obviously we know how talented he is with the glove. I mean, we both signed together with the Red Sox, so I know that from a long time already, and just him getting the clutch hits. I feel like he's always been that type of guy leading games, and he's going to put the ball in play, and then for some reason he finds a hole, so I feel like Schulte just feels so comfortable having him, and even if he's not starting, just having him on the bench, knowing that late in the game he can do something,
I always feel so much calmer after I hear from Xander Bogaerts. He's a very controlled and tempered speaker. Don't you feel that way? Like it's very calming on me hearing him speak. Now it doesn't always translate to the field, but he seems very at ease. And one thing we both said while he was speaking, we were talking back and forth off air, is that he never if something's going right, he is the classic baseball player. He does not want to talk about it, and he doesn't want to talk about himself. Yeah, hey, you've had a lot more power recently. He ain't going down that path. Hey, you're playing, You're hitting better at the plate. Doesn't want to go down that path.
Nope.
Because what I've noticed over the last couple of months too, because we put a lot on this, it felt like he was making so much of it. And eventually that Dodgers series, like, you know what, just forget it all.
Yeah, screw it.
Let's just go out there and whatever. If it happens, it happens. It's not going to get worse than this. And from that point on, he's kind of turns it around. But you're not going to hear him say, I want to get back to Boston Xander and I want to hit 30 home runs. That's the last thing you'll ever hear him say.
Yeah, he does not want to talk about his successes. He'll talk about his failures and his downfalls, and he'll tell you, yeah, I've sucked.
Yep.
And that's the one thing I've always said about Xander, even though we've been very critical of him on the show, is he is very, very good in that clubhouse as far as speaking to the media and being very open and transparent and honest.
And accountable.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Accountable for sure. And the one thing with Xander's struggles over the last 2.5 years, leading up to his where he was really bad in LA before that turnaround, he hasn't spoken to the media a lot because you're not going to speak to the media if you're struggling. Like you're not going to just be like, hey guys, come talk to me after every game.
Mm-hmm.
It's always Manny, a lot of Tatis, obviously the starting pitcher that game, Jackson Merrill.
Yeah.
You haven't seen the media talk to Xander on a daily basis a lot. I mean, maybe they have, but I don't see it every single day. Like, oh, Xander's speaking to the media every single day.
I agree. It seems like it's been less. And again, it's coincided with some of his better play in a Padres uniform. We'll kick off the final hour of John and Jim with more on tonight's game one of the series between the Padres and the Red Sox, and be joined by Kevin Acee, our Padres insider. He'll join us live in the 5 o'clock hour. We are here until 6 p.m. getting you ready for Padres and Red Sox at 6:40 tonight. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update is brought to you by Anderson Heating and Air. We'll start with the NBA. Shams reporting earlier this afternoon the opening schedule for opening night for the 2025-2026 NBA season will tip off on October 21st on NBC. First game of the year will be the Rockets at the Thunder and then Warriors at the Lakers as the nightcap of the doubleheader. Tonight starts a 3-game series between the Padres and the Red Sox down at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch tonight. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres against Walker Buehler for the Red Sox. And SDFC takes on Kansas City tomorrow night on the road. 5:45 kickoff, 5 p.m. pregame. You can listen to the match right here on San Diego Sports 760. Need HVAC? This month, get 0% for 18 months on a new system. Schedule your free proposal at AndersonPHA.com. Anderson, fast, reliable. Wow.
Your favorite pair, John and Jim.
Are you bilingual, Jim, by chance? Do you know what that would mean?
I can speak multiple languages.
You've turned into like a Harvard grad over the last week.
No.
Yes. Yeah. I can't fool you anymore.
Can't even say languages right. Speak multiple languages. There we go.
Check out the big brain on bread. Now, live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of John and Jim for the week, kind of, right here on San Diego Sports 760. We will have a wrap-up show coming up tonight following Padres and Red Sox game 1. This is the classic. Listen to this, Jim. This is the classic something has to give game. Why? Well, these two teams have played well. So you have the Padres playing well, you have the Red Sox playing well. But the reason it's a classic something has to give game is because Walker Buehler in his last 11 starts has a 7.13 ERA. He's been awful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know his lifetime numbers against the Padres, though?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're good.
They're good.
But you know what they are?
No.
Off the top of your head? You didn't come to the show with that.
It's got a
throw
3.2 ERA.
Okay. Keep going lower.
Sub 3?
Let's go sub 3. Keep going lower.
Not a sub 2.
Yeah, sub 2.
Are you serious?
He's 6-1 with a 1.8 lifetime. He is 6-1 with a 1.8 lifetime against the Padres. Now that maybe is a lifetime ago, right? I mean,
it is a lifetime ago.
That's the thing with pitching. So I'm more trusting of the now. When I hear 7.13 over his last 11 and then 6-1 lifetime, can you capture lifetime when in the here and now you're not the same pitcher?
Right.
Is the question.
Yeah, I'd have to go off of what he has done
recently
than what he used to be, because I would bet you a lot of those numbers were like pre-surgery.
Oh my, all of them, almost all of them. Yes, maybe all of them.
Yeah, give up. I mean, just go back to the last time he faced the Padres in October last year. The last time we saw Walker Buehler at Petco Park, he was, causing a fit in the dugout, throwing a temper tantrum.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
And he gave up 6 runs. He gave up that long home run to Toddy.
Yeah, I'm assuming those numbers I just gave you, because they were on MLB's bottom line, is regular season. Very rarely would you see regular season and postseason numbers combined, is my guess. He's got a 1.8. How could he have a 1.8 with the postseason? That would be absurd.
No chance.
So anyway, he's 6-1 in regular season.
Because if the postseason was added,
then he would have a 0 in every other game.
It'd be crazy.
So he comes in, and we'll mention this, the radio voice of the Red Sox, like from a pitching matchup perspective, which is what baseball is. You're only as good as your next day's starter, right? When you say Pivetta against Buehler, that's where the advantage lies tonight for the Padres. Now, you're right. Red Sox lineup is a very good lineup. I think for Pivetta, maybe it's more challenging than what we've seen this year, where he's got this sub 2 ERA at home. Mm-hmm. But if you're the Padres offense, which is improving and has been better by and large, got to capitalize. Even though it is Walker Buehler, got to capitalize here tonight against a pitcher that's been struggling this year.
Have we read the Padres lineup tonight?
I don't know if we've actually read it. You're right. We just mentioned Tatis was leading off.
So yes, Tatis is back in the lineup, leading off in right field. Luis Arraez is hitting second at first base. Manny's hitting third at third base. Jackson Merrill is the cleanup hitter tonight in center field. Xander Bogaerts is hitting fifth at short. Ryan Bro Hearn, is your DH tonight, hitting sixth here. Ramon Laureano is in left field, hitting seventh. Jake Cronenworth is hitting eighth at second base. And Elias Diaz, who has caught Nick Pivetta a majority of this season, is behind the dish tonight.
Still, again,
wow, look at that lineup.
And I think it is deeper, because when you put O'Hearn and Laureano in a lineup, And when you bat Jake Cronenworth 8th, it does feel like it's a improved lineup. The Diaz thing, okay. But Diaz, honestly, we were hard on the catchers, and rightfully so. It's not like they had no production at all. I don't think they had the level of production anyone was hoping for, and it wasn't Kalagashioka.
Definitely not Martin Maldonado.
No, definitely not Maldonado as well. And Fermin, I like the way they've used Fermin. He's basically been like the primary, but not the everyday, right? The 5 out of every 7 game guy, but that still means there's going to be opportunities, obviously, for Elias Diaz. That's just how baseball is now. Who catches 140 games? No one.
Yeah, once this team, knock on wood, gets in the postseason, you'll see Freddie Fermin out there every day.
Every single day. There's some built-in off days and postseasons.
So as you get closer to the postseason, I know that Elias Diaz has mostly caught Nick Pivetta this year.
Yeah, will we see more of
Fermin catching all these guys?
I'm sure probably. Yeah.
And I also don't think there's this like, oh, he's my personal catcher. He has to be in the lineup.
Yeah, I've never been a huge believer in that.
Because Maldonado caught Cease all year long until right before the trade deadline when Diaz was out there instead. And,
how many personal catchers are there in baseball that follow a pitcher around for their career? It's rare. Like, those, hey, Darvish has to work with
Victor Caratini.
That does happen. It has happened. I feel like it's becoming more and more rare. And with free agency and the way there's player movement and the trade deadline, like you're going to have to throw to multiple catchers.
Yeah.
Even if you don't 1 year, like Nick Pivetta might be throwing to a different catcher next year because Diaz is gone and Fermin is here. So yeah, I'm with you. That's an interesting point though, that will Fermin get more opportunities in September to work with the entirety of the staff because that's what he's going to be doing in October if the Padres make the postseason. That's an interesting point.
And it's not like Luis Campusano's on this roster or anything.
No, he's not. And I don't know if he will be ever again. Although the rosters will expand actually in 3 weeks. And it will be interesting to see the 2 additions the Padres make 3 weeks from right now when they expand the roster to 28 from 26.
He hit another home run.
I honestly, now that you said it, and I'm like, he'll never see San Diego, right? With the movement, the Fermin.
Never.
When you go to 28, though, and you cut Maldonado, is he your position player that comes up because in an emergency he's your catcher? So you've got the third catcher. It gives you the flexibility.
When does their season end?
September 1st. Well, you don't want him to miss the remaining portion of the season in AAA. It won't end until the middle of September, but he's eligible to come up September 1st when rosters expand. I bet he's up. That would be my hunch right now.
I need to look up his numbers real quick.
His numbers are great, aren't they? In AAA, with 17 or 18 home runs.
He might get a statue at El Paso.
Tom Brady in New England and Luis Campusano in El Paso.
I'm only half joking, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. What are his numbers this year?
It only shows me his major league numbers. Where do I find his minor league numbers?
Talking about click minors.
Minor. Here we go. I got it. All right. So this year in El Paso in 73 games. Oh my goodness. He has 18 doubles, 1 triple, 17 home runs, 65 RBIs. He's hitting .310 with a .997 OPS.
He's Barry Bonds.
Better.
He's Barry Bonds in AAA, but then when he comes up here, his major league numbers, pull up his major league numbers again, Jim. He's 0 for something, right? He does not have a hit in the major league.
He's 0 for 21 with 6 walks.
0 for 21 is a lot of at bats.
27 plate appearances, 11 strikeouts, 6 walks, 0 for 21.
Yeah.
So,
but the one thing when rosters expand, teams like to have 3 catchers. Because with 3 catchers, you have the flexibility, and they just cut Maldonado. So maybe he gets an opportunity at some point in September, but kind of neither here nor there.
It's just so funny looking at his numbers, man.
How's that possible? How can you have a 1,000 OPS in AAA? I mean, I know it's the definition of a quad A player, right? And listen, it just proves the distinction between AAA and the major league is a big jump. It's not a hop, skip, and a jump. It's a big jump. But come on, it's baseball. It's professional baseball. How can you have a 1,000 OPS and not hit the side of a barn here?
Well, John, I don't know.
He even did hit a little bit, didn't he, earlier in his career here? I mean, he's had some success in the major leagues before.
Yes, in 2023.
What did he hit in 2023?
In 49 games in 2023, he had 7 doubles, 7 home runs, 30 RBIs. He hit 319 with an 847 OPS.
It's amazing, right?
Mm-hmm. And then the organization realized that he's not a good defensive catcher. And maybe there's some things behind the scenes that we don't know about that goes on with him, and they don't trust him.
But that's why I thought he would move. But maybe in this grand plan is when you release Martin Maldonado and you keep Luis Campusano, he becomes an option for you in September. Remember last September, he was optioned down, which I find interesting. Last year, I mean, they lost complete faith in him.
Yeah.
And it feels like faith has been lost since that point.
Dude, this guy is the greatest El Paso player of all time.
What are his career El Paso numbers?
His career El Paso numbers,
They should
John?
be down there, right? Or his career AAA?
Dude, AAA, all right? He's played in 248 games at El Paso. Lifetime. He's a 304 hitter with a 915 OPS. He's hit 48 homers, 57 doubles, 5 triples, 180 RBIs in El Paso.
No, not kidding. Serious question I'm going to ask. Would you retire his number?
In El Paso,
In El
yes.
Paso.
I'm
not kidding.
I think they're going to have like Luis Campusano like statue bobblehead night.
Maybe not a real statue, but they'll do a statue bobblehead.
2022 in El Paso, in 81 games, 15 doubles, 1 triple, 14 homers, hit an 846 OPS. In 2021, in 81 games in El Paso, he had 21 doubles, 3 triples, 15 homers, and 906 OPS. He hit 295 with a 541 slug.
Retire his number.
Retire his number yesterday, dude.
All right.
He's even better. Like, look at this. 2019, and I know we've gotten so far off the tracks, giving you Luis Campusano
his career numbers in AAA,
minor league numbers.
You're very off the tracks.
But in 2019,
7 years ago,
7 years ago in Lake Elsinore,
he was a huge prospect.
Yeah, 110 games. He had 31 doubles, 15 homers, 81 RBIs. He hit 325 with a 906 OPS.
That's the player we're looking for in the major leagues. If he gets called up,
never see
September
him ever
1st.
again.
All right, Kevin, AC at 5:30. Expectations for Michael King tomorrow in his return, plus getting us ready for Padres and Red Sox coming up tonight at 6:40. We've got you covered until then. Stay with us, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. The iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances by The Offspring, Tim McGraw, and more. September 19th and 20th at T-Mobile in Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Ticket to AXS.com. While the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. 3 chances every weekday for you to win your trip for 2 plus $1,000 spending money. Next chance to text and win happens at 9 a.m. on Monday morning. San Diego Sports 760. Get all the info at sportssd.com/festival. This is a big night in preseason football. This is one of those nights you circle if you're a preseason guy.
You're calling. You're circling this.
Your Monday is going to completely revolve around Shedeur Sanders, who's made his NFL preseason debut tonight for the Browns. He did so with pomp and circumstance. Came in with music, came in with a hype man, and has since led a touchdown drive for the Browns with a ridiculously impressive throw in the red zone between like 3 defenders. So the Shedeur Sanders era underway in preseason football, and he's had a level of success here tonight for the Browns.
The whole entrance into the stadium with the hype man, boom box, and whatever else he had.
Large stick.
He had like a camera crew around him. He had a guy carrying a boom box.
But did you see what I'm talking? He had this 8 foot high something. Is that going to work in the NFL?
I despise that. And because of that, it's like this kid needs to be humbled very quickly. But if he goes out and performs, is any Browns fan going to care?
Right, because the Browns do nothing well.
All the Browns want is a good quarterback.
Yes, so you'll deal with all the rest.
Right. Now, do I think the shtick that Shedeur Sanders puts on is incredibly corny and incredibly tired and lame? And I mean, you're a rookie, bro. You're not in college anymore. You're not going to get your number retired after 10 games. All right. You got to go out there and earn it. But, if he goes out and earns it, then this stuff, it won't be as big of a thing. If he goes out there and he stinks, then the stuff that he's doing off the field will get tired very, very, very quickly.
In a way, it's almost like Schulte and the nicknames. They're cool when we're winning, but if they're losing, they're going to get old really quick.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's like, good thing Schult's a great manager because some of the stuff he says, a lot of stuff he says, like it does not stick. It's a good thing that he's a good manager. And we'll see if Shedeur turns out to be a good player. But I can tell you this, Colin, guarantee you
leads the show with this
on Monday.
The one thing I would say about Sanders, because there's been all this opinion, there have been opinions from everyone about Shedeur Sanders with his dad in Colorado and his time in college football and how polarizing he is, everything. The one thing I would say is he's been a very good college quarterback. Like he has performed. It's not like you've ever watched the kid and be like, this guy can't hit the side of a barn.
Right.
He has no abilities. What a joke. This is all because of his father. He's proved at a high level that he's a very capable player, to the point that there were a lot of people before his final year in college that thought he'd be a very high pick. Mm-hmm. Now, it didn't turn out that way, and maybe that'll end up being the truth. Maybe he's not going to be a very good NFL player, but I don't think, among all the things that people say about Shedeur Sanders, nobody ever is like, this guy's awful. Right. He can't throw. He can't run. He doesn't have a good football IQ. I mean, we sat down with Sean Lewis within the last 2 months and actually asked him specifically multiple questions about Shedeur. He was the offensive coordinator for him 2 years ago. He's like, he's a very smart player. He adapts very well. He's receptive to it all. I mean, and the numbers would bear out what Sean was saying if you look at what he did the last 2 years at the University of Colorado. A very good player.
The Browns are in a position where they're going to have to start Shedeur.
What else are they going to do? Who's in the room?
Dylan Gabriel. Is Joe Flacco on that team?
I mean, you got to try. Why not? What's the worst thing that happens?
Well, the thing is, if they don't start him, and eventually they will, but to start the season, he is going to be the most famous backup quarterback
in a while.
And all the talking points everywhere, I can already see it now, is if whoever the starting quarterback is for the Browns struggles, it's time for Shedeur Sanders to get a shot.
Yeah.
And you've just put Kevin Stefanski in a very difficult position because if they don't get Shedeur ready in time, or if they feel like this Shedeur is not ready, the amount of questions every single day about Shedeur will be insufferable. So it's the backup quarterback thing, right? But he might be the most popular backup quarterback in the NFL if he's not starting right away.
right now their win total in Vegas is 4.
By the way, he just threw another touchdown.
Maybe it'll go up then to 4.5. Their win total for the year is 4. Remember, they play 17 games. They went 3-14 last year. So what I was going to say is, why not play them? What's going to happen? You're not supposed to win more than 4 games anyway. What, you play them and you win 3, or you don't play them and you win 4? Like, why not maybe give him the opportunity to see what transpires? And this is just a preseason game. And even if he threw 10 touchdown passes, it's not going to make his career, but it's at least probably mildly encouraging if you're a fan of the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, that's just what I was going to say. It's a preseason game. Remember, Trey Lance threw a touchdown last week, too.
Yeah,
but I don't think anyone's like, oh,
it is.
He's back.
It's a preseason game. It's true. It doesn't necessarily mean anything, but
Lewis Riddick just tweeted out, wow play number 1. And I just saw the play.
No, wow play number 1 was the last touchdown.
Well,
I thought
there was a play that he makes here. He's rolling to his right, gets knocked, throws a dart over 3 defenders at the sideline for like 30 yards. It's
a good athlete.
He's a good quarterback, and
no
he probably should have been drafted higher. But the reason why he wasn't is because of his attitude and his off-field, like shit, like not drama, but
what did you?
I was gonna say shenanigans.
Oh, I thought you were saying something else. That was a great throw. That was a great throw. No, that's my point. It's like that, like
cockiness,
we're losing, but we're losing sight of actually what matters in football. And you're right, the off-field stuff might not fly with his teammates, but what matters once you get between the white lines is, do you have the ability? And maybe he will. I mean, nobody said that he didn't have that ability. I wasn't overly confident it would work with the Cleveland Browns as a rookie, but we shall see.
His touchdown pass. I mean, he's making all the throws. I know it's a preseason game, but still, in a preseason game, you got to at least look the part. And seeing what you see from Shedeur, he at least looks the part. Again, it's preseason, and there's not much game planning or any game planning going into this stuff. But still, I mean, you got to go out there and make some throws. And you're not in the NFL. You're not in college anymore at Colorado, playing against Colorado State.
No, and he's looked good through a couple of drives in his preseason debut. Back to the Padres. Kevin Acee joins us on the other side. Our Padres insider. Padres and Red Sox game, one of a series coming up in about an hour. Stay with us, Sean and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. So if you're maxed out on credit cards or struggling with high interest debt, you could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey guys, it is Schaefer again. Get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. It's the Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto. It's amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. Just a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity, it's yours. So use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Call now. Start the conversation. 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. That's 619-207-4336. Get debt relief now at loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This update is brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. We'll start with NBA news. The opening night games will be as such. The Thunder will take on the Rockets, and then Warriors will take on the Lakers. That tip-off will be on October 21st on NBC. Padres and Red Sox are a 3-game series tonight at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres against Walker Buehler for the Red Sox. And STFC takes on Sporting Kansas City tomorrow night on the road. 5:45 kickoff. 5 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. Need HVAC this month? Get 0% for 18 months on a new system. Schedule your free proposal at AndersonPHA.com. Anderson, fast, reliable. Wow.
All right, Padres and Red Sox game, one of a 3-game weekend series at Petco. Just a huge series in early August for both of these teams. We're joined once again by Kevin Acee, our Padres insider. Kevin, we appreciate you taking time for us. And when we talked Wednesday, it was before we saw a Padres lineup, and Fernando Tatis Jr. wasn't in it. So now he's back after the off day and the off day. What impact do you think it could have on him, having a couple of days off as we head into the weekend?
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, could it, like the old Fernando comes back and he hits a bomb one of his first 2 at-bats, right? I'm sorry, I got nothing. And I keep checking because I know nobody's happy, right? Like everyone knows what's wrong with Fernando. And everyone's got a different opinion about what's wrong with him. But your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I even checked again today with people. I got nothing. And it's yeah, I got nothing. You guys can lead me down a path and we can continue to talk about Fernando. I'm fine with that, but I got nothing. And it's this is who he is this year, I guess.
Okay, I'll lead you down this path. Was the off day was the off day yesterday scheduled beforehand, or was it an off day based on his performance recently?
Oh, I believe it was an off day. How about both, right? That's how it is. But no, I think that Fernando's been trending toward that, and that I will say this sounds like one of those that was maybe they looked at the schedule a week, 2 weeks ago and said, you know what, here's when we can get Fernando a day off and it'll be 2 days. That's what I think this one was.
Okay. And I don't know
because he's been as terrible, because I'm going to tell you that this is from 5 people in the organization. They do not think he's doing as bad as everyone else does. And I say that only because my inbox and my Twitter freaking flooded with how terrible Fernando Tatis Jr. is.
Yeah, well, it's it's a lot. No, we see it too. And I was going to go down. I don't know if you caught this. His last at bat on Tuesday night in extras. He goes up there, doesn't have any gear on, no gloves, nothing. It was a bad at bat, jogged to first base, a ground out. Did you find out, or have you noticed? Did you notice that, or was that just I'm trying something different?
The first time they're up by 5. I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but I really, and guys, I don't mean to be, but it's we are searching. We are watching this guy like a hawk because he's Fernando Tatis Jr. And I think we all need to calm down.
Yeah, I agree. But when they took our show from 3 hours to 4 hours,
we need something to talk about, Kevin.
It's coming off I'm attacking you, or I'm
no,
whatever.
I know. I'm kidding. That's why I joke.
Oh my God.
Well, and I said today I said today, and you're cutting out a little bit, Kevin. I said today, I need Tatis to have a weekend where, he's had really good career numbers, for example, against Walker Buehler. I need him to have a good weekend, because I just want the story to change. The story has just remained very similar for weeks on end, that I just want him to change the story for us. We'll see if that happens this weekend or not. The other big story, obviously.
I want to say this, though. I was so down since we've been talking about this for about 2 months. For the first month and 29 days, I was so down with this conversation, and I've kind of reached my point where, I'm with you. I'm not even sure I want to talk about it again until he hits a bomb.
Yeah,
right. It's fair. So hopefully it happens this weekend. So
we'll ask you about it on Monday.
Yeah, exactly. Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. What are they expecting here for Michael King? It's happened quickly. They're playing well as a team. It's not like they have to have him go out there and throw 90 pitches in 6 innings, and they have to win. So what do you think the expectations are? What is the plan come tomorrow night for King?
Take what he gives, because it should be 70, 75 pitches, because he threw 61 last time, because as we talked about, it's not like they're babying him, other than you're not going to push him too far because he really hasn't pitched that much, but there's not, other than if he overdoes it, right, or he's overcompensating somewhere else, there's not this risk of re-injury. So, I 75 pitches, and I think they are expecting more of a semblance of Michael King than what you get. Like Nestor Cortez, right? That was kind of, if you think about it, about what we could expect. A guy who's been gone for 4 months. You remember Joe came back last year. Joe was pretty good first couple outings. And so, when a guy's been down 3-4 months, Yu Darvish, oh my gosh, did he finish up great? Made us all believe in Yu Darvish again. Well, there was first couple outings So, you can't expect too much, but I think that they are expecting the guy to give him 5 and keep him in the game.
Kevin, when you look at the catching position, Freddie Fermin has been great for this team just in a short amount of time. Elias Diaz out there tonight. He's mostly caught Nick Pivetta this year, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time. Yep.
Yeah. And getting closer to a postseason, which seems more and more likely by the day. Would you see Freddie Fermin maybe catching some of Nick Pivetta as we get closer to the postseason? Because it feels like Freddie Fermin is going to end up turning into the everyday catcher here if once the postseason comes around.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes. If there's one guy maybe you're not going to change with, then it might be Nick Pivetta. Nick Pivetta likes things a certain way. So it's not just the whole pitcher-catcher dynamic has worked. Nick likes things a certain way. He likes me to stand in a certain place. It's like that. And so I don't know, but that is a really good question, because you're spot on that it certainly seems like he's the everyday catcher. Will he be catching? Will they mix and match a little bit to make sure that he's caught everybody else? I mean, he's catching so much, he probably will catch everybody else. And I guess I wouldn't be surprised, if it were Pivetta, because to your point, he's the everyday guy. And when you're in the playoffs and you've got those days off, you're going to go with your guy. That said, remember in 2022, they wrote off the Nola a little too hard. Every once in a while, you might want to give a guy another day. Maybe it'll be Diaz that just, okay, he gets the Pivetta starts.
Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. You wrote a really good piece on Nick Pivetta earlier today. I mean, what is our working explanation? I mean, is it Pivetta? Is it Niebla? He had a career 4.76 ERA. He's got a 2.73 right now. He's got a 1.99 at home. How has he done this?
All of it, right? Let's not, Niebla is obviously very good, and there are some things like moving over on the rubber right from the start, and refining the sinker and the cutter, and those are Niebla things. Niebla leaves the curveball alone. That's always been good, but that it just allowed him to be more consistent. And Nick Pivetta acknowledges he's studied more, and he has absorbed things from Joe and you about, the Nick Pivetta. If you dive into the numbers, that's a really good start. And it's like, man, you don't do that with a 4.76, complete games, and have some of the most, if you look at it, how many 6-inning games where he gave up 1 or fewer runs with 3 or fewer hits, it's up there with the best guys in the league since 2017, 18, or 19. And yet the 4.76 ERA, boom, big innings, home runs. That's what has put him, where he's at with the 4.76. So he's limited those. And if you think about it, Joe is really good at that. Michael King is really good at that. So it's like all these things have contributed to Pivetta having his best year. I'm sure he came in here going, all right, I need to be a good teammate. And if I'm going to turn this contract, which is a really good one, and I bet on myself to turn down $21.5 million, I'm going to go ahead and go to this place where I feel like I can get better. And credit to him, he has.
You talked to Xander a lot. We just heard Xander speak to the media a little while ago, and he's been great the last 2 months. Ever since the Dodgers series, he's been fantastic. And it feels like every time someone asks him, like, oh, how have you done this? How have you done that? He's very like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you obviously have seen that from him. Is that also like maybe like a part of his success? Is he's just not thinking about this stuff anymore. He's just going out there and just reading and reacting to things.
Good call, because that's what I've been told, is that like for once the guy is settled into that, he's a pretty good hitter. He's got good back control. Like the guy can make things happen. And, let's not go overboard. I didn't say great hitter. He's a good hitter who's a good, really good hitter in this league for a long time. And he came here and he's wanted to do good and he just kept tinkering. And my understanding now is he's just going out and playing baseball. That's probably too simple, but it's also a pretty good explanation from my understanding.
We'll see if it continues. I mean, you just look at this stretch now, Kevin, with it being Boston and then the Dodgers twice and even San Francisco in there and Seattle. It feels as if, and we've been saying this, correct me if you feel differently, it just feels like you get through this stretch in August, and if you get through it with your head above water, like you play better than 500 over the stretch, I mean, I don't know if they're punching their ticket, but they're pretty close to punching their ticket by getting through this stretch, right?
Yes, if punching, and we could, you don't have time for us to do this, but it'd be an interesting conversation. I'm sure you guys talk about it. If punching your ticket is making the playoffs, then I couldn't agree more. Now, then we're sort of dependent here on how they play against the Dodgers and how the Dodgers do if we're looking for like division or to move up into the 5 or 4 seed. But absolutely, like you get to this, you can start to do the math, right? You're 14 games over, which is they're 13 now. You're 14 over when September starts. I mean, you can go 500 pretty much, right?
Yeah,
and they're playing the Rockies.
The Reds, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, playing White Sox, Rockies, Baltimore. And then maybe the conversation shifts from, we've been talking all season, can they make the postseason, to like, hey, can they win this division?
So probably, don't you think, better, like need to do pretty darn well during this stretch, and especially obviously those 6 games against the Dodgers. I mean, those could be, you could go whatever it is, let's say the next 20 games, you could go 14-6. If your 6 losses are the Dodgers, well, then you're screwed.
Absolutely. Yeah, the 6 games against the Dodgers will probably determine a lot in this division.
If that happens, that would be fascinating. If that exact scenario played out. That'd be fascinating.
At this point, guys, I'm just glad that Jim and I recovered, because I was a little harsh at the beginning.
Well, it's okay, Kevin. I understand. I'm
tired of that topic.
Oh, we're tired of it too. Imagine talking about it for 4 days every single day of the week.
We talk about it a lot. Honestly,
that's a lot.
But that's our own fault.
Yeah,
because we could talk about whatever we want. We'll talk about it on the other side of this break. Kevin, thanks for doing it. We'll catch up Monday.
In our business, we got to talk about what the people want to talk about sometimes. So there you go. You got
exactly. We're surfing the listeners. Thanks, Kevin. All right, Kevin Ace, your Padres Insider, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Jim's back page next. All right, hey guys, it is John and Jim again for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, and now open the hotel and spa at Jamul. The next level of luxury, it's arrived. Treat yourself to a stunning new stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, and all the thrills of Jamul Casino Resort, now all in one unforgettable destination.
And get ready for a San Diego Poker Classic from August 14th through the 24th. Join them for their 4th annual San Diego Poker Classic. It's the event of the summer with over $200,000 guaranteed prize pool. Visit their website for more details or see any poker room reservation today.
UFC 319, by the way, coming up Saturday, August 16th, 7 p.m. You can catch the action at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub or Loft 94 at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right, John and Jim, a final time for the week. We'll be back Monday at 2 p.m. We'll be reacting tonight on the wrap-up show following game one of this Padres-Red Sox series down at Petco. Should be a great weekend series. See if the Padres can stay hot and take 2 of 3 or more from the Bo Sox. But right now, let's get to this.
So, autograph collector Patrick Ryan recently completed a year-long quest to have 5 legends sign one item, and then he got it graded by PSA. The five legends that signed this, all right? Wayne Gretzky, Lionel Messi, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, and the thing was already signed by Babe Ruth. He didn't
get Babe Ruth to sign at the end. What was it? Is it like an index card or like a Babe Ruth card?
Literally a piece of paper.
Wait, he got... Okay, so they signed a piece of paper and then it goes to PSA for what? Autograph grading?
He got a piece of paper that was already signed by Babe Ruth. Then he compiled autographs from
those 4.
Messi, Gretzky, Brady, and Jordan.
No, but here's my point. What is he getting PSA'd? What's he... Because it's a piece of paper. Are you going to get a good score on a piece of paper?
Dude, it's... like the grade he got on it.
The grade. Is it a 10?
It's an auto 10.
Auto 10. Yeah. Okay. So the autographs were graded a 10.
He spent $14,000 at an auction on June 1st of last year to get a Babe Ruth signed piece of paper. He said when he won the auction, his plan was to get each autograph from the 5 legends of like every sport. He then presented this to Tom Brady recently to give to Tom Brady. And, you know, Tom Brady owns a bunch of card shops now, and you've been to one in the Hamptons.
Card Vault by Tom Brady.
Yeah, Card Vault by Tom Brady. And it's right now, it's not going up for auction, but this thing is valued at well over $5 million.
Over $5 million. Wait, so does Brady now own it, or is this a person that bought the Babe Ruth signature on it?
He gave it to Tom Brady.
Just gave it to Tom Brady?
He presented it to Tom Brady. I don't know if Brady took it, but he presented it to Tom Brady. Tom Brady's holding it at a card show or by one of his card shops.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we just do the exact same thing? Buy a $10,000 card and then get everyone to sign it and then sell it for $5 million. Because it's probably hard to get those autographs.
Yeah, I like that idea. It's a good idea.
Okay.
But I don't know if that would be possible. But yeah, so this is now being described as one of the most rarest pieces of memorabilia ever with the autographs on it.
Yeah, it makes sense because Babe Ruth is on it. That makes sense.
Yeah, when you add Babe Ruth and you add all the other guys, it's like, whoa.
Yep.
Did you see what Instagram just unveiled?
Just some new features. I saw we were on an email about them, but what specifically?
So the reposting feature, just like on X, you can repost stories or repost posts to your page, but there's like a repost feature, so you just have to click on it or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not the thing I'm talking about here. What Instagram introduced in a new feature this week was something that people didn't even realize was happening. So do you have Snapchat?
I have over the years. I don't know. It's probably on my phone somewhere.
I have Snapchat, but I have never used it.
There it is.
Okay. Yeah, you have to log in.
Can't even log in.
So on Snapchat, there's a feature where it shows, if you do so choose, it shows your location.
Right. So you can see where other people are, like your friends or something?
Right.
Yeah.
And you can share your location publicly, or you can make yourself be hidden. And so people don't see where you're at. Well, Instagram has done the same thing without people really knowing.
Wait, so people know where I am right now?
No, you have to turn the feature on.
Okay, good.
But people were claiming that the feature was turned on by Instagram without people knowing about it.
Oh, that'd be horrific.
Yeah. So right now, Instagram is saying that they are sharing their location feature with people, so they quote can better connect with friends. I'm like,
yeah, but that's risky. And if you're a public figure, that's a problem. I mean, if I know where Wayne Gretzky is, I mean, he doesn't want to be known where he is. Probably.
I think sharing your location should only be like a personal thing. I don't want.
Yeah, they can't force you in there, right?
I don't want my apps being able to share my location publicly.
No.
Like that to me
is a huge problem.
Could be a huge problem.
Oh, absolutely. I have to opt into that. I agree.
So yeah, I just I'm not. What I think Instagram is trying to do, and not everybody has the updated version yet.
Right.
You will probably get it in like 2 years.
Probably.
But what Instagram's trying to do, it's trying to become Snapchat.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Along with Facebook, along with whatever else. Like Instagram is great for what it is. Don't try to turn it into X and Snapchat and Instagram. Like we don't need a reposting feature. We don't need a location feature. We just need what it is.
It's a great point.
So yeah, if you have the updated version of Instagram, you might want to check to make sure your location service on that thing is not active. Just a heads up.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. So there you go.
Wait, was that 3 stories or 2?
That was 2. It's all you get today.
Holy moly.
What?
2 today? The other day you only did 1?
No, I think he did 2. Has he really gone to 1?
No, I've not done 1. I've done 2.
There's nothing else going on in the whole world? Because the back page, let me think of something going on right now.
What do you got?
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
AMC claims they're going to cut down on movie previews by like 10 minutes.
Okay, I like that.
Goodness.
That's interesting.
I did see that.
That's interesting. That's
opposed to the 30 that they do now.
I went to I went to watch Fantastic Four, First Steps. The movie started at like 4:15,
mm-hmm.
and I specifically made an effort to look at my phone to see when the movie started.
Yeah.
So the scheduled time was 4:15. It didn't start until 5.
No way. It's gotten to that point.
Like it was a good 45-ish minutes of
why
previews.
would so have we gotten to the point that if you're going to a 4:15 movie, can you just show up 10 minutes later?
Yeah,
100%.
Especially with reserved seats.
Like 25 minutes later. You don't even need to show up. Yeah, you're good, dude.
So maybe I don't want them to shorten the previews because then if I show up late, the movie will have actually started.
John, you don't care about previews because you don't go to movies.
Yeah, I haven't. And maybe though in the future. Probably not. If they do a movie on Fernando Tatis Jr.'s struggles, go to that. All right.
Kevin Ace's just like, stop talking about it.
Somewhere Kevin is yelling at like the sky.
Right.
About Tatis. Us asking him about Tatis. Stop emailing Kevin about Fernando Tatis Jr.
Exactly.
All right. Back Monday. Join us tonight for a wrap-up show for Brendan, Jim. I'm John. Have a good weekend. This is 760.
Okay.
Bye.